In my previous life, Shinyenjo, as a representative of the jury, blocked my promotion qualification for 10 years, he said, as my wife, you must avoid suspicion, it's only the second year, there's still a chance, year 5, Lin Rue, you should give more opportunities to young people, if the older generation hadn't retired, how could it have been so easy for us to get a job at a research institute, in the last year? I knew that if I didn't get promoted I would have to retire. So I begged him for help, but the next day, the first person on the promotion list was his white moonlight. This time, he who always sounded dignified, he actually used all his connections to reject me again. I was filled with endless regret and was so angry that I almost died. When I opened my eyes again, I was back to the day when I received my promotion application. 1. Lin Rue, I'm going to work. Remember to go find the teacher and get your suspension application back. I heard the door close and I sat up suddenly from the bed, looking at this old house that was built 30 or 40 years ago. I realized that I was truly reborn, back to 1977. This year is our second year of marriage. Shinyenjo and I were admitted to Northwestern Polytechnical University together, but just last night, because Shinyenjo's mother broke her leg, the result of our discussion was, I withdrew my application for suspension, gave up the opportunity to go to college, and stayed to continue working in the military factory. He went to Northwestern University as planned. I wanted to continue to take the college entrance examination the following year, but I got pregnant and had to put my plan on hold. Later, we were separated for more than 10 years. Over the years, I have been raising my children and taking care of my parents by myself while working. But when I finally became a technician and just entered the research institute, Shinyenjo came back. Because of his outstanding resume, he became the head of the research institute. Later, I spent 10 years trying to make further progress, but was stuck every year. He rejected me in the first year. Because I was his wife, she was afraid of gossip, so she rejected me. Let me take the exam again next year. The next year, he said I still had a chance and could learn more skills and knowledge. Until the 5th year, I was still the one who was eliminated. I asked humiliatedly why. Why did the leaders of the entire research institute think that I had strong skills? But he was the one who rejected me. He was silent for a while and then said, Lin Rue, you should give more opportunities to young people. If the older generation hadn't retired, how could it have been so easy for us to get a job at a research institute? In the last year, I knew that if I didn't get promoted I would have to retire. So I begged him for help, but the next day, the first person on the promotion list was his white moonlight. This time, he has always been pompous. He actually used all his connections to reject me again. Took me the last time, opportunities for advancement. That's when I knew. It turns out that we were separated for more than 10 years. There is always someone by Shinyenjo's side. That person remained alone all his life for him. No marriage, no children. Just to be with him forever. Finally, he couldn't bear to see her leave the institute. So he rejected me. The moment I saw the list, I subconsciously looked at the two of them. Shinyenjo felt relieved, and the woman cried with joy, and I felt like a sacrifice in their shameful and tacit agreement. Think of this, I covered my face with my hands trembling, tears falling from between my fingers like beads from a broken string, quickly soaking the bedding. This is a stupid decision. I spent my whole life to repay it. 2. After I calmed down, I made breakfast and ate it calmly. I went to the factory to find the leader again. Application. I haven't submitted it yet. Why did you change your mind? I smiled sheepishly. I'm really sorry, leader. The leader waved his hand and returned the application to me. Comrade Lin, it is an honor for our factory that you were admitted to Northwestern Polytechnical University, the day before yesterday. I was still trying to persuade Comrade Shen that it would be a pity if you didn't go. I didn't expect that you would change your mind today. It seems that Comrade Shen's words are still effective. I smiled, took the application form, thanked my leader, and then left the factory. As soon as I left the factory, I tore up the application form and threw it into the trash can. Looking at the debris in the trash can, I couldn't help but smile to myself. It turned out that the leader had advised Shinyenjo to let me go to the Northwest, but he never mentioned it. He even urged me to come earlier to get the application form. In my previous life, I used my own financial future to support him so that he could study peacefully, but he found a close female friend in college who shared his feelings with him. This also blocked my promotion opportunity for that year. In the last year, he even used all his connections to keep Bai Yuiguang and get rid of me. 3. I returned home with red eyes. He sat there in a daze for most of the day before he stood up and packed up his luggage. School is about to start and the journey is long. The train ticket I bought before has been taken away by Shinyenjo, who said he would help me refund it. When I bought the ticket, there were no tickets available for the same day, so there was a day between me and going to the Northwest. I left a day early, which means I bought a ticket for tomorrow morning. I have to find a way to get the ticket back. Otherwise it might be too late to buy another one. I made lunch in silence, just treat it as it is for myself and Shinyenjo in past and present lives. Let's have a farewell dinner. 4. When Shinyenjo came back, the last dish was just served. Here is the prescription. You need to go to the pharmacy to get your medicine every week. Shinyenjo handed me the documents in his hand. I'm leaving the day after tomorrow. Shall we go to the photo studio and take some pictures together tomorrow? I think of my past life. Before he left, he also took me to take a photo. For the next 10 years, he lived a carefree life, and I spend my days guarding this photo, take care of his parents for him, take care of children, and also sacrificed his own future. I pulled the corner of my mouth and said, okay, wait until you can find me tomorrow. While eating, I asked him, by the way, have I refunded my train ticket? Shinyenjo didn't even raise his head. Not yet, I was planning to go this afternoon. What's wrong? Give me the ticket, I'll go and return it. I paused. I just happen to have time. It just so happens that I need to get a certificate this afternoon, and I'm worried that I won't have enough time to return it. Shinyenjo handed me the ticket. I held the ticket in my hand and breathed a sigh of relief. Afternoon. After Shinyenjo left, I took out all the things we usually use at home, give away what you want to give away, and sell what you can sell. 5. That night, when Shinyenjo came back, he also brought his mother back with him. In his previous life, Shinyenjo would not bring his mother over until the next day, so when I saw him bring the person back, I was stunned for a moment. What's with that expression on your face? Don't you welcome me? Shinyenjo grew up in a single-parent family. It wasn't easy for his mother to raise him, so he is very filial and his mother is also very strong. In my previous life, I understood how difficult it was for her, so I went along with her in everything. However, even though I served her for more than 10 years, until her death, she was still extremely picky about me. Now that I've been reborn, I naturally won't spoil her. Shinyenjo didn't tell you that you would come today. So the house hasn't been cleaned up yet, you have to wait. When Shinyenjo heard me calling him by his name, he looked at me in surprise. Because I used to call him Ian, he thought I was unhappy because he suddenly brought his mother over, so I hurriedly explained, I just happened to go get some information today, and a good friend of mine happened to have a car, so I went to pick up my mom. Anyway, it doesn't matter whether I answer it today or tomorrow, it's all the same. Seeing that her son was trying to please me and even had to explain to me why he brought her back home, Shin's mother looked unhappy. Shinyenjo saw that his mother was unhappy, so he hurriedly spoke, let's give our room to mom first, and we'll live in the other room. I don't care, I'm leaving tomorrow, so it doesn't matter where I live. Mother Shin moved into our room and her complexion became better, but it's not peaceful. Sometimes she asked me to serve tea. Sometimes she asked me to pour water. And sometimes she asked me to wash her feet. I was tidying up another room and pretended not to hear. Seeing that I had a stern face, Shinyenjo did everything himself. After I had finally packed up my supplies, he lay down on the bed and cried out that he was exhausted. Arui, my mom is a very particular person, you should pay more attention to her in the future. Okay, don't let her feel uncomfortable living here. Oh, I responded casually. As soon as I lay down on the bed, Shinyenjo came over. I moved aside in annoyance. Your mother is next door. His breath fanned my neck, and his hand reached in from under my shirt. She won't hear it, but just as he finished speaking, he heard Shin's mother say, Lin Rue, come and help me go to the toilet. I closed my eyes in mockery. Shinyenjo stood up resigned to his fate. Where's your wife? Why are you here again? Go to bed quickly. I can handle it myself. You have to meet your friends tomorrow. And you'll be leaving for the Northwest the day after tomorrow, so don't get too tired. Then I heard a lot of ping-pong sounds. It was obvious that Shin's mother was deliberately making noises to express her dissatisfaction. I automatically blocked out Shin's mother's words and fell asleep quickly. 6. I woke up at 6 o'clock the next day. When Shinyenjo heard me get up, he thought I was going to buy groceries. Mom likes to eat pork liver. See if you can buy some for me. I didn't even turn my head. After washing up, I took the luggage that had been prepared long ago and took the train to the train station. When I arrived at the train station, I felt hungry and bought a few pancakes from a stall outside the station. I originally wanted to make some pancakes at home yesterday to eat on the way, but Shin's mother came. In order to avoid trouble, I had to give up. After 4 days of swaying on the train, I was exhausted by the time I arrived at school. After completing all the formalities, I fell into a deep sleep on my bed in the dormitory. I was woken up by several roommates. Like me, they came here from all over the world. After everyone had rested enough, they planned to go to the cafeteria to eat together. On the first day of school, I thought I would not see Shinyenjo in class. After all, his mother still needs someone to take care of her. But in the blink of an eye, I saw him push open the door and walk towards me aggressively. 7. Shinyenjo roughly pulled me to the playground outside the classroom. Lin Rue, what are you doing? Shinyenjo looked very angry, as if I had done something extremely treasonous. What the hell are you doing? Didn't we agree that you would give up going to college and stay at home to take care of mom? Why did you come to the Northwest without telling me? Do you know that my mother is alone at home with no one to take care of her? How are you going to let her live in the future? Huh? After saying that, he roughly pulled me forward. Go, pack your things and get back here now. I've already told the teacher at school and told you to take a temporary leave of absence. I slammed his hand away. What did you say? Shinyenjo looked at me with a sneer. Lin Rue, what on earth are you doing? Do you still look like a wife? You left my mother at home and enjoy yourself here. Do you have a clear conscience? I stared at Shinyenjo blankly. I felt that the person in front of me was extremely unfamiliar to me, even though I had lived with him for my whole life in my previous life. You mean your mother is injured? As a daughter-in-law, it is my duty to give up everything and stay to take care of her. And I came here to study at the university that I went through so much trouble to get into, just to make trouble. To enjoy myself, is that what you mean? Looking at my extremely unfamiliar expression, Shinyenjo's breath was held. He seemed to have really calmed down at this moment. He couldn't help but come over and hold my hand. I'm sorry, Rue, it's my fault. I was just too excited, he argued, but that's also because I saw that you were suddenly gone, and your things were gone too. But we clearly agreed that you would give up your studies temporarily and stay at home to take care of mom. Didn't we agree on this in advance? But you came here without saying a word. You said you left a mess at home. What do you want me to do? Shinyenjo looked haggard. It seems that not only did he not sleep well during the few days on the train, but he must have also had a hard time during the 2 days at home, too. In her previous life, her mother was difficult to take care of. When I was taking care of her, I had to get up many times a night, for several months. I hardly had a good night's sleep, but who has ever understood the hardships I went through in my previous life? And Shinyenjo had only taken care of his mother for 2 nights. How come his mother has become a mess? I sneered. Shinyenjo, yes, we agreed before that I would give up my studies and stay at home to take care of your mother, but you've only been taking care of her for 2 days. Right, how is it? Is it easy? That's your own mother, even you think that's a mess. Why can you just pass this mess on to me? Shinyenjo was furious. Why? Because she's my mother. She's your mother-in-law. Why do you say that? I lost my father when I was young. It was my mother who raised me and helped me get married. My mom has arranged everything for me. But what about now? You, I can't stand it anymore. Shinyenjo, you also know that's your mother. Your mother. Not my mother. Your mother has had a hard time. She works very hard. Isn't that caused by you as her son? It's caused by your father. But what right do you have to ask me, your daughter-in-law, to pay it back? Just because I married you, should I give up everything and work like a slave in your Zhou family? Shinyenjo, Pa. Shinyenjo became furious and slapped me directly. My face unconsciously tilted to one side. Hey, why did they start fighting? Yeah, what happened? Tisk tsk. A grown man hitting someone. You are worse than pigs and dogs. I poked my tingling cheek with my tongue. It was a long while before I looked up. Shinyenjo put his hands behind his back and said guiltily, Arui, I'm sorry, I'm not. Let's get a divorce. Shinyenjo, I said calmly. What? Shinyenjo's face suddenly turned pale. I said, let's get divorced. After I finished speaking word by word, I turned and walked towards the department head's office. 8. In fact, the idea of divorce. I had it on the first day I was reborn. However, if I had brought it up at that time, I'm afraid this trip would not have been so smooth, so I've been enduring it. Unexpectedly, Shinyenjo would cruelly abandon his old mother and still come to school. What's even more despicable is that as soon as I arrived at school, I went to find the teacher without permission and told him that I had to give up my studies. Oh, that sounds good. I'll take the exam again next year. Let's not talk about whether I can pass the exam next year. The fact that he totally ignored me made me feel extremely disgusted. In my previous life, what did I get for him, for the children, and for that marriage? It was he who found his confidant in college. After he became my leader, he blocked my promotion opportunities for 10 consecutive years. Every time I tell my children about my grievances, they always stand on his side, thinking that it is not easy for their dad either. I think it's good for me to take care of them both at home. As for my wishes, my dreams, my future, in their eyes, it's not worth mentioning. I've already taken the wrong path once, and I absolutely will not let myself fall again. 9. When I explained to the department head that Shinyenjo's mother had only broken her leg and was not paralyzed in bed and needed constant care, the department head also felt speechless. My grades were very good, even 40 points higher than Shinyenjo's. In addition, I worked in a military factory for 3 years and was an outstanding employee in the factory. Not only does he possess some confidential knowledge, but his math scores are also quite outstanding. In the eyes of school leaders, my abilities are definitely much better than those of Shinyenjo, who was admitted to university solely based on his grades. At this time, everyone is saying that women can hold up half the sky. Many scientists and researchers are women. Many women have even devoted almost their entire lives to scientific research, so the department head did not think that I should give up my future and help a man who was not as good as me just because I was a woman. When the department head asked about the slap marks on my face, of course I did not hide anything and told Director Su that I was beaten by Shinyenjo. Comrade Lin, you can stay here without worry and study hard. The motherland needs talents like you. You don't need to worry about other things, just go back without worry. With the school teacher's words, I finally felt relieved. As expected of a top university in the country, the teacher did not believe Shinyenjo's words just because of my gender and thought that I should give up my studies and go back to take care of the elderly. I thanked the teacher gratefully and returned to the classroom. I don't know how the school leaders handled the matter next, anyway. After Shinyenjo was called away once, he never told me again when he came back that he wanted me to give up my studies and go back to take care of his mother, and I also devoted myself to the ocean of learning. It was more than half a month later when Shinyenjo stopped me again. Lin Rue, how long are you going to make trouble? For so many days, you never asked me if I had enough to eat or if I was warm enough to wear. You even didn't wash my clothes. What on earth do you want to do? I looked up. After looking at Shinyenjo for a while, I remembered that Shinyenjo had also come to school. I rubbed my sore eyes. First of all, I didn't make a scene. Secondly, whether you eat well, wear warm clothes, or even wash your own clothes has nothing to do with me. I told you before, we're getting a divorce. If you've thought it through, we can go through the formalities right away. If not, please stay away from me. I still have a lot of books to read and I don't have time to chat with Shinyenjo about these trivial things. Lin Rue, are you serious? Do you really want to divorce me? Shinyenjo seemed very surprised. I thought I made it clear that day. I looked at him coldly. Shinyenjo couldn't believe it. Just because I asked you to go back and take care of my mom, you want to divorce me, even after more than half a month of school. You're still angry and ignoring me. Do you really need to? Before I could say anything, someone called out from afar, Student Shen. I looked up and saw a woman in a white dress with long black hair draped softly over her chest. She came in front of us and stood beside Shinyenjo. Student Shen, this is my sister-in-law, right? After saying that, he looked at me again, his eyes full of persuasion. Sister-in-law, I heard that you left your mother-in-law behind and insisted on coming to school, and because classmate Shin advised you a few words. You are still angry. I'm not saying anything bad about you, but as a wife, you still have to be filial, otherwise, even a good man like Mr. Shin will become cold-hearted. Shinyenjo pursed his lips and said, Lin Rue, is what you just said true? Before I could say anything, the woman interrupted again, glancing back and forth between us with a curious look. What are you guys talking about? She looked at me curiously with her wet eyes. Sister-in-law, what did you say? Why is brother Shin so angry? Good job. Just now it was classmate Shin, now he called her affectionately. I pulled the corner of my mouth. Who are you? What does our conversation as husband and wife have to do with you? You're so eager to come up to me. Don't you have any thoughts about your elder brother Shin? I sneered disdainfully. the woman in front of me is called Anya. In the previous life, she was Shinyenjo's confidant in college. In my last year of promotion, she was the woman who made Shinyenjo do everything he could to eliminate me for her, Anya. But what I didn't expect was, in this life, Shinyenjo had only been in school for more than half a month, and he was already involved with Anya again. It seems that they are really destined to be together. Anya's originally curious and innocent look was rebuked by me. She was stunned for a moment, and then her eyes quickly filled with tears. How could you say that to me? Anya looked at me in disbelief, then ran away wiping her tears in humiliation, a white dress fluttering in the wind. The thin figure looks like a piece of jade that will break at any time, which is heartbreaking. Lin Rue, what are you talking about? Shinyenjo looked at the woman running away with heartache. Then turned around and started to speak harshly to me. Pa, I slapped him hard. He covered his face and looked at me in disbelief. Lin Rue, what are you crazy about? Pa, I slapped him again with my backhand. Lin Rue, Shinyenjo was furious and raised his hand. I took a step back and said, Shinyenjo, I'm at school, but you're flirting with other women. Aren't you afraid that I'll go to the teacher and report you? Shinyenjo was furious, and I have nothing. We are just close friends. I almost vomited when I heard that. Oh. I walked coldly past Shinyenjo and returned to the dormitory. Now that they haven't done anything too outrageous, I naturally won't say much, and I don't want to focus all my attention on them, since Shinyenjo doesn't want to leave now. Let's just drag it out. The first semester passed quickly, because I had outstanding grades and had worked in a military factory before. I took a secret mission before the holiday of the first semester and went to a research institute for a year. No one knows about this. Naturally, I didn't tell Shinyenjo about it. 11. A year passed in the blink of an eye. I returned to school only when my work at the research institute came to an end. I will graduate in half a year. I need to come back early to handle the formalities. After graduation, I will go directly to the research institute. As soon as I came back, my roommates who I hadn't seen for a long time were all surprised. We agreed to go to the cafeteria for dinner, but I didn't expect that as soon as I entered the door, I saw Shinyenjo and Anya sitting together intimately. The two of them were almost leaning against each other, their movements intimate, like a couple in love. My roommate looked at me awkwardly. Lin Rue, you don't know yet. Your husband Shinyenjo is a popular figure in school because of his excellent grades. There are many people who secretly like him. Look, that one is the one closest to her. I knew that my roommate was referring to was Anya. I nodded and said nothing. Shinyenjo has a good appearance and good grades. If it weren't for this, Anya in her previous life wouldn't have stayed single for his whole life. In the end, she almost became his white moonlight. It was just a matter between the two of them. But there were a lot of rumors in school. It's just because I, the real person, didn't say anything, so everyone just watched. But now that I'm back, I think the issue of my divorce with Shinyenjo should be put on the agenda. I took a wrong step and walked forward. Hey, are you eating? Shinyenjo and Anya paused, and both looked up at me at the same time. Lin Rue, Shinyenjo stood up suddenly. When did you come back? Where have you been this year? Compared to Shinyenjo's excitement, Anya had a calm expression. She stood beside Shinyenjo and looked at me with hostility. I heard that you two are always together in school, showing off. What do you think, Shinyenjo? Should we get a divorce? Shinyenjo's expression changed and he instantly distanced himself from Anya. Anya looked at me subconsciously. Are you really willing to get a divorce? Her roommates looked at her with disdain. Although nothing was said, she could understand the meaning. Anya's face turned red, but she still withstood everyone's mocking gazes and looked at me steadily, as if insisting on an answer. Do you really want a divorce? Shinyenjo wanted to say something, but when he saw the brave Anya, he seemed to be touched. He held Anya's hand tightly and looked at me. Okay, since you want a divorce, I'll grant you that. I nodded, and went with Shinyenjo to get a divorce certificate that same day. I went to the principal's office just after my divorce. I made a detailed report about the affair between Shinyenjo and Anya during the year I was away and gave it to the principal. Compared to Shinyenjo, a student who appears to have good grades but has bad behavior, the principal promised that he would give me a satisfactory explanation. A few days later, I heard that Anya had dropped out of school. Of course, before dropping out of school, she and Shinyenjo had already obtained a marriage certificate. My roommate is very gossipy. You don't know, the school clearly let them choose. Only one of them can stay, but that Anya actually took the initiative to say that she would drop out of school and let Shin stay. Tisk tsk, It's not easy for a family to raise a college student. She actually gave up her studies for a man so easily. I really can't understand it. I smiled bitterly and shook my head. She is not the only fool like this. It was me in my previous life. But in this life, it is Anya. But the beneficiary was Shinyenjo. It has to be said that whether in his past life or this life, Shinyenjo is a master of PUA. But after Anya left, Shinyenjo began to appear in front of me more frequently. No matter what he said, if I wasn't so stubborn and didn't understand him, he wouldn't have divorced me. 12. He always asked me indirectly where I had been during the year I disappeared and what my plans were for the future. I know that there has been a rumor in the school recently that 3 people will be selected to go to the research institute. I had great grades but disappeared for a year. This year, no one knew where I went. However, Shinyenjo was a bit more thoughtful. He was worried that I had carried out some secret mission this year and would become one of the people competing with him for a place in the research institute. I turned a blind eye to his various temptations. In fact, what Shinyenjo didn't know was, selecting personnel to join the research institute is one of my tasks when I returned this time. Although Shinyenjo appears to have good grades, he spends most of his time on being close to Anya. It has never been within my consideration. 13. Soon, it was the day to announce the list. On this day, the school auditorium was full of people. Many people looked at the school leader sitting on the stage with trepidation. When the time came, the leader took out a list and read out the names of 3 people selected to join the research institute. Standing on one side of the stage, I saw Shinyenjo clenching his fists tightly. As Xiao Zhang's voice slowly fell, I saw Shinyenjo's face turn pale. Zhou Weigua, Zhang Qing, Lu Jing. Among the 3 names, none of them is him. I looked at Shinyenjo's pale face. It was as if I saw my past life. Time and again, I stood in front of Shinyenjo, the judge. Like a sinner facing trial, when everyone said I was innocent, Shinyenjo, this man, who is my husband, has sentenced me to death time and time again. After coming back to this world, I became a judge. It feels so refreshing to see Shinyenjo miss his dream. Don't accuse me of abusing my power for personal gain. I selected 3 people from the list. Zhou Weigua's grades are better than Shinyenjo's. Zhang Qing's practical performance is better than Shinyenjo's. But Lu Jing is a return talent, and he has core technologies that are better and more powerful than mine. Why should I choose Shinyenjo instead of someone like this? That would be my dereliction of duty. 14. Okay, these are the 3 people who will be entering the research institute this time. Please welcome our selected engineer from the research institute, Mr. Lin, to the stage to speak. Everyone is warmly welcomed. The principal's words had just fallen. I was invited to the stage. I looked at Shinyenjo in the audience and suddenly stood up. Then a pair of eyes stared at me, as if I had done something wrong to him. I looked away and didn't look at him. After I finished my speech, as soon as I walked out of the auditorium, someone grabbed my hand hard. Lin Rue. Shinyenjo's eyes were red. Why are you selected as a member of the research institute? Why did you choose these 3 and not me? You are seeking revenge, aren't you? You hate me for divorcing you and marrying you, aren't you? Do you believe that I will report you for abusing your power for personal gain? I shook off Shinyenjo's hand and said coldly, whatever. Behind him, Shinyenjo punched the wall heavily. Lin Rue, you will regret this. 15. That day, I was called to the office. In the office, Shinyenjo stiffened his neck, obviously very unconvinced. Comrade Lin, Student Shen is obviously very dissatisfied with this personnel selection. Not only did he come to me, he also sent a letter of complaint to the research institute, saying that you abused your power for personal gain. So, could you please explain to us why you chose the other 3 people instead of Mr. Shen? The principal glanced at Shinyenjo with a half-smile. It will also make Student Shen convinced. Shinyenjo's face turned pale, but he still stared at me. I sighed, put the prepared materials on the table, then stepped back and said to Shinyenjo, take a look at these. Shinyenjo's unwilling gaze fell on the stack of information. After he finished reading it, he stumbled out of the principal's office in a daze. He lost this battle completely. The information not only shows that the other 3 people's abilities surpass his in all aspects. 2 of them were very quiet and had expressed outstanding insights in their respective fields. Even Zhou Weigua and the leader had met them. As for him, Shinyenjo, he just had slightly better grades and a better-looking face, and was highly praised in school. Even students like this are plentiful in school. Even if he were to choose from this large group of students, Shinyenjo might not be able to rank in the top 10. How can a person like Shinyenjo have the nerve to accuse me of abusing my power for personal gain? I took 3 students with me and disappeared from everyone's sight overnight. 16. It was 20 years later when I returned home again. And I have become the director of a research institute. Mom, is this where you used to live? My adopted children looked at the city where I had lived for more than 10 years with curiosity in their eyes. I smiled and said, yes, look here. This is the former military factory. Your mother worked here for 3 years. Unfortunately, the factory has now become an ordinary steel plant. It's no longer the way I remember it. Hey, are you Lin Rue? I didn't expect that the guard actually recognized me. He walked out of the guard room. Oh, are you really a forest engineer? I heard that you are at the research institute now. When did you come back? I didn't expect that the security guard still remembered me, so I chatted with him for a few words. After a few words, a door next to him suddenly opened and a man was driven out by a woman with a broom. Bah, I've been working like a slave for you my whole life. And you still dare to flirt with other women outside? Get out of here. As the door closed, the man turned around with a dark face and wanted to say something, but suddenly noticed our group. The man was stunned for a moment. Lin Rue, Shinyenjo, whose appearance had changed greatly but was still thin, strode towards me. Mom, my son took a step forward and subconsciously stood in front of me. My daughter also held my arm tightly to protect me. Mom, Shinyenjo glanced at the 2 of them. Then looked past them and towards me. Lin Rue, is it really you? Are you back? I don't care about the past anymore. So when facing Shinyenjo, I was also very calm. My son saw that we seemed to know each other, so he stepped aside. Shinyenjo's eyes were still fixed on me. Lin Rue, they are all your children. You remarried? I just nodded, took my 2 children to the government guest house, and left. I still find it funny. Why does Shinyenjo think that I would not get married for him? Although for various reasons, I am indeed not suitable for having children, but my husband loves me very much. His sons and daughters are also orphans of comrades who gave everything for the country, and they are all very filial. I have a successful career and a harmonious family. I feel that I am living a much more comfortable life in this life than in my previous life. In the evening, many old friends got together. Someone told me that Shinyenjo is now a teacher in a school. At first, he divorced me. He was flirting with Anya at school again, and his reputation was already ruined. When I was selecting people to join the research institute, because I did not choose Shinyenjo, he wrote a letter to the research institute to report me, although the school and research institute later became aware of the whole story, but no matter in front of the leaders of the school or the research institute. The 3 words Shinyenjo were marked with a big cross. This resulted in Shinyenjo being kicked back to his hometown by the school when he was assigned a job after graduation and was assigned to work in the military factory where I used to work. He wanted to join the research institute every year, but was rejected every year. This year is our 2nd year of marriage. Unfortunately, I was not the one responsible for the selection afterwards, as I was proven innocent time and time again. The 3 words Shinyenjo were completely blacklisted by the research institute. Such a person with unclear mind. I can't afford the research institute. In the end, even the military factory didn't want him. He could only go to school to work as an administrative teacher. Speaking of this, someone mentioned Anya. They said that Anya became a housewife since she married Shinyenjo. These years, not only did they have to take care of their mother-in-law, but they also had to take care of the children, and their lives were extremely chaotic. The 2 of them fought at home every day. Shinyenjo and Anya almost became the laughingstock of the whole area. After hearing this, I just smiled. The past is gone with the wind. I will be back to my post in a few days. What does everything here have to do with me? Story 2. In my previous life, a month before my engagement to my childhood sweetheart, our mutual childhood friend cornered him at his doorstep. She cried and said that she had actually liked him for all these years and hoped he could give her a chance. My childhood sweetheart didn't agree. Later, we got married smoothly, but she never gave up, until the white moonlight turned into leftover rice grains. And the mosquito blood that couldn't be wiped clean before became the cinnabar mole in the man's heart. She came excitedly, pregnant, to declare her sovereignty. During the scuffle, she pushed me down the stairs, and I was bleeding from the head. In a trance, I saw my childhood sweetheart and his mother rushing over, supporting her and carefully asking if the fetus was affected. When I opened my eyes again, I was back in my high school days, looking at the man and woman in front of me. This time, everything will be different. 1. When I opened my eyes, I was in the classroom. I was wearing the high school summer uniform, the faint chirping of cicadas in my ears mixed with the cheering sounds outside the window. My head was groggy. I sat up straight and looked at everything in front of me in a daze. The last thing I remembered was that I took the drafted divorce agreement from the law firm and went home, where I met Han-Chi-Chi, who was standing at the door waiting for me with a pregnant belly. Just like a peacock that had finally won the battle, she raised her head and showed off to me. "I'm pregnant. Aiken said he will divorce you." I was silent and reached past her to take out the key to open the door. Perhaps my indifferent attitude couldn't add luster to her victory. Suddenly, she became emotional and clung to me tightly, refusing to let go. During the entanglement, she suddenly exerted force. I lost my balance in my high heels and fell down the stairs. My head hit the ground. The warm blood and intense pain became my last perception. 2. Accompanied by hasty footsteps, a bottle of water was placed on my desk. "I heard you had heat stroke. You only attended half of the PE class. What happened?" I looked up and saw a familiar face with a hint of anxiety. It was Shin-Chen. Shin-Chen, who was many years younger, my childhood sweetheart, my husband, the father of Han-Chi-Chi's unborn child. Shin-Chen. I stared blankly at him. But what came to my mind was that after I fell down the stairs, when he rushed over, he chose to pick up Han-Chi-Chi first. He soothed her as she cried and told her not to be afraid, that the baby would be fine. Yao Yao. Not getting a response, Shin-Chen waved his hand in front of me. "Could you have a fever?" I suddenly felt a bit ridiculous. Even in such a situation, I could still have such a dream. Was it that in my subconscious? I was so pathetically eager to get his concern. I let out a cold laugh. Shin-Chen was taken aback. At this moment, another familiar exaggerated female voice came from the door of the classroom. "Yao Yao, are you okay?" Han-Chi-Chi rushed in, looking full of concern. "I heard you almost fainted from heat stroke. It scared me to death." But while she said she was worried about me, her body moved towards Shin-Chen's side, gently rubbing against his sleeve. "I wonder why I didn't notice it before," I murmured. "What?" Both of them were taken aback at the same time. What a fool I was. I shook my head and smiled. I regarded Han-Chi-Chi as my close friend, shared my secrets with Shin-Chen with her, invited her into the study group that Shin-Chen and I had, helped her with her schoolwork, and helped her improve from being at the bottom of the class to being among the top 100 students in the grade, even after Shin-Chen and I started dating, because she always said she missed us. We often took her with us when we went out to play. She even called herself the Stephen third wheel friend. I introduced boyfriends to her, all of whom were excellent boys, but she always said they weren't suitable. Why didn't I notice it earlier? In fact, she had liked Shin-Chen even before she became friends with me. On the eve of my engagement to Shin-Chen, she stood in the rain, crying, and cornered him at his doorstep, begging for a fair chance to compete. She kept saying that she didn't want to ruin our friendship, but also said that she loved him so much that she couldn't control herself. At that time, Shin-Chen didn't accept her. He firmly got engaged to me and then married me, but 5 years after our marriage, Han-Chi-Chi always remained the third person in our marriage. After the truth was revealed, she simply threw all caution to the wind. She blocked the door of the place where Shin-Chen worked, made him lunch, bought him clothes, and showed her concern. She said she would prove with her actions that she loved Shin-Chen more than I did. Shin-Chen was disgusted by her pestering. He blocked her, refused to see her, and returned or threw away everything she sent. Half a year later, Han-Chi-Chi came to me crying, knelt down, and begged for my forgiveness, saying that she had been bewitched in the past and would never pester Shin-Chen again. She wanted to be friends with us again. Naturally, I wasn't so naive as to be friends with someone who tried to destroy my marriage, and Shin-Chen said he wouldn't either. However, with the dual pressures of the trivial married life and the issue of having children, at every moment when there were small cracks in our married life, Han-Chi-Chi was still like a pervasive virus, seeping in and affecting our lives. Shin-Chen started mentioning her more and more often and even began to miss her. He would talk about Han-Chi-Chi's thoughtfulness during our quarrels, and also mention the cooking skills that Han-Chi-Chi had practiced for him when the food didn't suit his taste. Finally, those small cracks that could have been filled originally became bigger and bigger because of the presence of the third person. When we had cold wars and quarrels, he started staying out all night. I couldn't tolerate the betrayal in the marriage and proposed a divorce. But he burst into tears and apologized to me, unwilling to agree. He said he loved me, but I knew that he couldn't let go of Han-Chi-Chi anymore. He indulged in her obedience, compromise, tenderness, and flattery, so I went to a lawyer alone and drafted a divorce agreement. I wanted to get rid of this entangled and painful relationship. I made all the plans for my life after the divorce and was ready to go to another city to start a new life, but in the end, I was still pushed down by Han Chi-Chi. I was forced to witness that disgusting scene. 3. The class bell rang soon. In the afternoon, I looked at the familiar yet unfamiliar blackboard writing on the blackboard and the teachers who came and went on the podium. Finally, I realized one thing: this wasn't a dream, I had been reborn. Perhaps God took pity on me for my poor judgment of people in my previous life and made me reborn in the second year of high school when my friendship with Han Chi-Chi just began. Han Chi-Chi was a transfer student. She didn't get into our high school in the high school entrance examination. After staying in a third-rate high school for a year, her family spent money to transfer her here. Her grades were not good. Every time she ranked at the bottom of the class in the exams, she would always hide in the toilet and cry. High school is like a small society. Girls with poor academic performance are actually quite vulnerable to being bullied. Soon, some people began to make fun of her. They would deliberately lock the toilet door when she went to the toilet to cry, pour water on her head, and laughingly scold her as the silly crying Chi-Chi girl. It was me who saved her. I chased away those girls who bullied her and gave her my spare clothes. She cried and thanked me. Seeing her pitiful situation and fearing that she would be bullied again, I took the initiative to be friends with her. I was the president of the student union and had some prestige in the class and the school. My care for her made other classmates treat her better to some extent, and Shin Chen, because of me, often took good care of her. When I was a child, my kind parents always told me that when you give someone a rose, your hand will be fragrant with its fragrance. I always remembered this sentence. From childhood to adulthood, I always tried my best to help everyone. Later, Han Chi-Chi timidly said that she wanted to improve her academic performance. So I invited her into the study group that Shin Chen and I had and helped her improve her grades and get into a 211 university in our local area. However, Shin Chen didn't perform well in the college entrance examination. Because I was so infatuated with him and wanted to be with him, I gave up my dream school and applied to a 985 university in our local area. In my senior year of university, there was an opportunity to study abroad for a master's degree. Once again, for Shin Chen, I stayed. Now that I think about it, I was like a fool when I made those decisions. Fortunately, this time, everything has just begun, and it's still not too late. After a while, the bell rang for the end of the class. Shin Chen and Han Chi-Chi walked towards me at the same time. Han Chi-Chi said excitedly, "Shall we review English together in our study group today?" I stood up, picked up my school bag. "I'm going home now." 4. Why do you suddenly want to go home? There are still 2 evening self-study classes. Han Chi-Chi widened her eyes. "Are you still not feeling well after the heat stroke in the afternoon?" Shin Chen reached out his hand. "Don't tell me you really have a fever." I turned my head to avoid his hand. He was taken aback, and his hand hung in the air. "I'm a bit tired and I've asked the teacher for leave." "Then I'll send you back," Shin Chen said. "Wait for me. I'll go and tell the teacher." "No need." I picked up my school bag, and without waiting for him, I turned around and left the classroom. When I reached the downstairs of the unit in the residential area, I just happened to meet Shin's mother, who came down to take out the trash. When Shin's mother saw me, she immediately beamed with joy. "Oh, Yao Yao, why are you back so early today? By the way, come to Auntie's house later to have some shortbread cookies. They've just been made and are still warm." I looked at the woman in front of me. Once I thought I had met the best mother-in-law in the world, but after marriage, because Shin Chen and I didn't have children for a long time, I suffered a lot of her disdain. Even later, it was she who kept urging Shin Chen to give it a try with someone else. "She has problems, she can't hold you back." When I was bleeding from the head, she and Shin Chen rushed over together. They didn't even spare a glance for me. Their hearts and eyes were only filled with the baby in Han Chi-Chi's belly. "Thank you, Auntie." I passed by her. "But I don't like shortbread cookies." 5. Under Shin's mother's surprised gaze, I closed the door of my house, looking at the books on the second layer of the bookshelf and then at myself in the mirror, who was 17 years old. I suddenly felt that perhaps in this new life, what I could change was not just love and marriage. Could I also have a try at that regret that was once deeply buried in my heart? Just then, my mother came back from work. Shin Chen was following behind her. "I just met Xiaochen downstairs. He said you had heat stroke at school today and left early. Why didn't you call me?" My mother came over anxiously and touched my forehead. "How do you feel now?" "I'm fine," I smiled. I was just a bit hot, don't worry, my mom cooked some mung bean soup for Yao Yao. Shinshin placed the pot on the table, it clears the heat, drink it after it cools down. And there are also the shortbread cookies she just made, really. My mother smiled, you've troubled your mother again. It's no trouble, auntie. Shinshin smiled with his teeth showing, and then peeked at me, if you're feeling better, let's do our homework together tonight. In my previous life, until the 3rd year of high school, because we lived across from each other, Shinchan and I often did our homework together and discussed exercises, but in this life, I don't want to anymore. I don't want to have a relationship with him that goes beyond ordinary classmates, I don't want to be close to his mother anymore, and I don't want to repeat the same mistakes and the tragic ending of my previous life. Shinchan, I said softly, I've been a bit tired recently, so I want to study alone for a while. I want to quit the study group and the study sessions we have together at night. 6. Just like that. I quit the study group that Shinchan and Han Chichi were in. During the evening self-study classes in the following few days, I studied and did exercises by myself. Shinchan would habitually come to find me during the breaks, but I usually went to the toilet or fetched water with my desk mate before he came. When Han Chichi came to ask me questions, I usually made an excuse that I was busy. Finally, Shinchan cornered me at my doorstep on the weekend. What on earth have Han Chichi and I done to offend you? He said unhappily, why have you suddenly ignored us? You're overthinking it. The final exam is coming up. I just want to review by myself. Am I overthinking it? He raised his voice. Everyone in the class can see that you've been ignoring me recently. Do you think I'm blind or deaf? I was silent for a moment. Shinchan, do you like me? Huh, he was stunned. I don't like you, I said. What? I said that although we grew up together and have been together for the past 17 years, I don't have feelings for you that go beyond those of an ordinary friend. I just want to study hard by myself now. What are you talking about? He seemed to have heard a funny joke. Who said I like you? I just regard you as a friend who grew up with me. That's the best then, I said softly. Don't flatter yourself, he said with an ugly expression. I was just showing my concern for you as a friend. But you took my kindness for granted and even accused me of liking you instead. Humph, you want to study by yourself, that's fine, from now on, we'll all study by ourselves. Okay, I nodded. I watched his back as he left in a huff. I'm sorry, Shinchan at the age of 17, I know that you at the age of 17 haven't done anything yet and you're not that two-timing scumbag yet. This one-sided coldness towards you may be a bit unfair. But with the memories of my previous life, I can no longer accept you. Moreover, since I've already foreseen the unbearable future between us, why not nip it in the bud? Forgetting each other in the vast world is the best ending for us. 7. Since that day, Shinchan never came to find me again. When Han Chichi saw that I was ignoring her, she went to Shinchan, and he, as if out of spite, loudly said to Han Chichi, it's okay, the two of us will form a study group, and we can still improve our grades. It's not like we can't live without anyone. Indeed, that's true. In this world, no one can't live without someone else. But a few days later, the head teacher, Teacher Zhang, suddenly called me to the office. Su Yao, have you been a bit reluctant to help your classmates recently? I frowned. Teacher Zhang, what do you mean? I heard that you quit the study group in the class. I nodded. Yes, I want to study by myself. Teacher Zhang adjusted his glasses. Let me tell you. You're still too young, you know. For students, having good academic performance is one thing, but having good moral character is also very important. Selfish behavior is not advisable. Teacher, I said in confusion, I think the study group model isn't very suitable for me. I want to study hard. Why is that considered selfish? He let out a sigh and changed the subject. Su Yao, I originally planned to recommend you for the 3 good student in the city this year. You know what a 3 good student is, right? One must not only have good academic performance but also good moral character. Teacher Zhang, I interrupted him. First of all, last year, I was elected as the 3 good student in the city through a class vote first and then a school-wide vote. It was fair, just, and open. I don't mind using the same form this year. Secondly, I just quit the study group with Shinchan and Han Chichi. Many of my classmates, such as my desk mate and the students sitting in front of and behind me, come to ask me questions. And I actively help them. I don't think there's anything wrong with my ideology and morality. If I were still the 17-year-old me, I might really think I didn't do well enough after being brainwashed by a few words from the head teacher. But in essence, I'm a 27-year-old who has experienced the hardships of society. This kind of preaching is too childish for me. Teacher Zhang couldn't argue with me. So he had to let me go back to the classroom first, but during the class meeting in the afternoon, he suddenly said that he was going to change the seats for everyone. The study groups in our class before have achieved good results. In this monthly exam, many students' grades have improved. He stood on the podium. The final exam is coming soon. To improve the overall grades of our class, we will implement a new one-on-one deskmate mutual assistance system. This year's selection of 3 good students in the city will mainly focus on moral education evaluation. How much the deskmate's score improves will be an important criterion for judgment. He read out the names and rearranged the seats, and Han Chichi was arranged to be my deskmate. Yao Yao. Han Chichi held her school bag and seemed to be thinking of me. Don't worry, to help you remain a 3 good student in the city, I will work hard to improve my academic performance. I suddenly found it a bit ridiculous. The head teacher on the stage was gesturing wildly, and the new watch on his wrist was very obvious. Han Chichi's family seems to be in the business of selling luxury watches. I suddenly understood. In my previous life, the head teacher didn't intervene because I had been taking the initiative to help Han Chichi. Under my tutoring, her grades improved rapidly. By the 3rd year of high school, she even entered the top 100 in the grade. She had a poor foundation and was weak in her studies. I'm afraid that except for me in the previous life who had such great patience, other classmates were too lazy to spend their precious time helping her. Even Shin Chen, when the 3 of us studied together, he basically discussed questions with me and rarely helped Han Chichi. When I first quit the study group, although Han Chichi tried her best to hide it, it was obvious that she was excited inside. But not long after, she should have realized that Shin Chen didn't have much patience with her, and I, the most suitable and convenient helper, suddenly didn't want to help anymore. Although she didn't know the reason, she was anxious. She came to this school and entered this class by pulling strings with money. It was too easy for her to get Teacher Zhang on her side by giving him a luxury watch. They wanted to use the title of 3 good student in the city to restrain me and make me continue to be a free homework tutor. Their calculations were really too good. After class, I went to the office to find Teacher Zhang. I don't want to be deskmates with Han Chichi. Please help me change my seat. Teacher, 8. Teacher Zhang got angry as soon as he heard it. Su Yao, what's wrong with you as a student? Didn't you just promise me that you were willing to help your deskmate? Why do you want to change your seat now? You don't cooperate with the study group, and now you want to change your seat. Look at yourself. Who in the class is as special as you? Teacher, do you love everyone in the world? What? He was taken aback. People always have those they like and those they dislike. I can help my deskmate, but I don't like Han Chichi, so I don't want to help her. What's the point of picking and choosing when it comes to helping others? This time, the seats were arranged according to everyone's scores and are related to the selection of 3 good students in the city. If you want to change, is it fair to others? Why do you only think about yourself? Hee, I sneered. 3 good student in the city, 3 good student in the city. Then I'll withdraw from the selection of 3 good students in the city. What? I said I'll withdraw from the selection of 3 good students in the city. You don't have to choose a new deskmate for me either. I'll sit alone. Eccentric, selfish. He was shaking with anger. I'm working hard for you every day. You want to me, don't you? Don't worry, Teacher Zhang. I won't be able to make you angry for long, I said calmly. I've already decided to transfer to the liberal arts class in the 3rd year of high school. 9. As soon as I said this, both Teacher Zhang and Lu Shi were stunned. Teacher Zhang sneered. Hee, who are you trying to be angry with? I've never seen anyone transfer between liberal arts and science classes in the 3rd year of high school. Lu Shi also looked at me. I'm not kidding. I looked at Teacher Zhang. In a few days, I'll ask my parents to come and sign the papers. Hee, you really think you're a genius, being able to study liberal arts or science as you like. I ignored him and turned to walk out of the office. After going out, I could still hear Teacher Zhang's mocking voice. If she really transfers to the liberal arts class, I'll write my surname Zhang upside down. When I got back to the classroom, I moved my desk and chair to the last row of the classroom. Han Chichi watched me move my things and then turned to look at Shin Chen. Her eyes were wet and red. It was as if I had bullied her. Most of the classmates in the class were silently watching the scene, but only Shin Chen came over. What are you doing? He frowned. Didn't you see it? Moving my seat. Did the teacher agree? I informed him. He watched me packing and took a deep breath. Come with me outside for a moment. I went to the corridor with him. don't take your anger out on Hanchichi just because you had a quarrel with me, that's really unseemly, I laughed. Take my anger out. Aren't you deliberately embarrassing her because I've been getting close to Hanchichi recently? But Suyao, you were the one who said you wanted to be just an ordinary classmate with me. We are just ordinary classmates. I just want to study quietly by myself. Shin-chen, I have no feelings towards you. I just find Hanchichi noisy and don't want to waste my time helping her. That's all. After saying that, I wanted to go back to the classroom, but Shin-chen grabbed me. What's wrong with you? Why have you become so selfish? Let go. I frowned. Okay, I surrender. Stop making trouble. Okay, what? He bit his lip. I'll be honest, I got close to her and went to and from school with her just to make you angry, but you can't act like this just because you're angry. After that, he muttered softly, you should really learn from Hanchichi in terms of personality. Look how gentle she is. She always thinks of others. Only I will indulge your bad temper. I looked at the person in front of me quietly. Sure enough, whether in the previous life or this life, whether at the age of 17 or 27, Shin-chen was still the same Shin-chen. Hanchichi's gentleness, compliance, and flattery always worked on him, no matter when, and I lived in his self-righteous love and constant comparisons. I was like a spinning top that couldn't stop, as long as I didn't spin well, fast enough, or to his satisfaction. He would instinctively compare me with Hanchichi and point at her and say, look, how beautifully she spins. I even bestowed my love on you, but you're still nitpicking and ungrateful. But in fact, I never wanted such love. Shin-chen, I said softly, I've always thought that at the very beginning of this relationship, it was because I took the initiative to help Hanchichi, so, to some extent, I also have some responsibility towards you. What? He didn't understand. I shook my head. I'll give you a piece of advice. In this year of the third year of high school, focus on your own studies, do more simulation exercises, reduce your nervousness, and you can get into a good university. After saying that, I turned around and went back to the classroom. This was all I could help him with. As for his future choices, it was up to him. 10. When I got home, Shin's mother was sitting on the sofa, and my mother was answering a phone call. Okay, I'm sorry, Teacher Zhang. The child has caused you trouble. I know. This matter is indeed. I guess the child was just impulsive. Please don't report it to the school in a hurry. Okay. After putting down the phone, my mother had a complicated expression. Your head teacher said that you want to transfer to the liberal arts class. I nodded. What? Transfer to the liberal arts class? Shin's mother immediately said, listen to Auntie. You can't transfer. It's almost the third year of high school. Teacher Zhang said that you talked back to the teacher today and also said that you want to sit alone. Have you encountered anything recently? My mother asked. I shook my head. Mom, I want to study liberal arts and apply for the School of Journalism at Peking University. Peking University, Shin's mother immediately said again. Oh, it's not easy to get into Peking University. Yao. Auntie is telling you that girls shouldn't go into journalism. It's not safe and doesn't pay well either. Girls should study something like accounting. It will be easier to find a stable job in the future. I was just talking to your mother. The accounting majors of those several 985 universities in our local area are all quite good, and Peking University is so far away from home. It's better for girls to stay closer to home. In the future, you and Shin-chen can both study at local universities, and you can go home on weekends. In my previous life, Shin's mother was like this, constantly telling my parents and me how good it was to stay local, because her legs were not good and she didn't like going out. Shin-chen had told me a long time ago that his mother wanted him to go to a local university, and as the so-called well-known future daughter-in-law in her eyes, of course, it was the most secure for me to study at a local university too. You're the only girl in your family. It's better to stay closer to your parents. You and Shin-chen grew up together. There's no man in this world who will treat you better than him. Get married early after graduation. Yao. Girls don't need to have too strong a career ambition. Stability is the most important thing. You always have to take care of the family. Girls should have children early. It's also good for your recovery. It was under the brainwashing of these words that I found an ordinary and stable job after graduation. Married Shin-chen, and even doubted myself because I couldn't get pregnant for a long time, and because I couldn't get pregnant for 5 years. Shin's mother's attitude towards me gradually turned bad. Once, I accidentally heard her talking to Shin-chen outside the door. Son, even though you're married, you can't just stick to her. We should have had a premarital medical examination before getting married. Who knew she couldn't have children? Mom, it might not be Yao Yao's problem. It could also be my problem. How could it be your problem? She raised her voice. Let me tell you, Yao Yao has been spoiled by you since she was a child. You give her whatever she wants every day. Now I think Chi Chi is really nice. She always comes to give me things, and her personality is much better than Yao Yao's. What era is it now? It's not like you can't get a divorce. You and Yao Yao quarrel all the time now. Just give it a try with Chi Chi. If she gets pregnant, just dump Yao Yao and be with Chi Chi. Memories of the past flooded my mind, and on Shin's mother's side, she was still pouring out her values to my mother. Most people in this world are ordinary. One shouldn't aim too high. For girls, it's better to seek stability, find a good and reliable husband's family, get married and have children early after graduation. As the old saying goes, it's better to marry well than to study well. Auntie, I interrupted her. It's true that most people in this world are ordinary, but ordinary people also have dreams. Dreams are not about being overly ambitious, and a girl's value is never just about getting married and having children. If you read some books, you might find out how important a position women occupy in promoting the progress of history. Not everyone can promote history. You young people are poisoned by those decadent foreign ideas on the internet. You always think you're so great. She turned to look at my mother again. Yao Yao's mom, I told you before that you should pay attention to the child's ideological changes. Once she's brainwashed, it's really scary. I sneered. Auntie, is it the internet that's brainwashing me? Or are you brainwashing our whole family? You child, what are you talking about? Her face suddenly changed. You come to my home when you have nothing else to do and tell my mom that girls shouldn't marry far away. That girls shouldn't have a strong career ambition, and that girls should get married early. I just don't understand. Do you really want to control me so much? You ungrateful child. I've watched you grow up since you were little. Isn't this out of concern for you? I'm also very busy. If you were a stranger on the street, why would I bother to care about you? Since you're so busy, then please focus on your own business and don't come to my home for no reason anymore. I said coldly. Shin's mother opened her mouth wide and stared at me blankly, unable to say a word for a moment. Fine, I'll go. I'll never come to your home again. As she said this, she stood up, but her movements were slow, obviously waiting for my mother to stop her. But I took a step ahead and grabbed my mother's hand. Thank you, Auntie. Indeed, I'm about to enter my senior year of high school, and I also want to have a quiet study environment. Shin's mother's face turned pale and then red. Before leaving, she stopped again and turned to my mother angrily, saying, Yao Yao's mom, you really should discipline your child. 11 After Shin's mother left, my mother let out a sigh. Why are you so angry today? In fact, my parents have always been very open-minded and kind people. But kind people can sometimes be soft-hearted and be taken advantage of. I pulled my mother into the room and pointed to a row of journalism books in the bookcase. Mom, you know that I've been interested in journalism for a long time. The college entrance examination may not be the only opportunity to change the trajectory of one's life, but it's a very important choice. In the past, I just followed the crowd, because everyone said that when filling in the college entrance examination volunteer, there were more majors to choose from for science students, and that science students had a better future, but personally, I actually prefer liberal arts. Mom, I made this decision after careful consideration and practical judgment, although the classes in the second year of high school mainly focus on science, because I'm interested in liberal arts and I also need to take the general academic proficiency test. I haven't really fallen behind in the general framework of the content. I'm confident that I can make up for the liberal arts content during the summer vacation of the second year of high school. I really want to transfer to the liberal arts class and strive for my dream, to aim for Peking University. This decision may be a bit risky, but I'm willing to do my best to take a chance. My mother looked at me silently. After a while, she patted my shoulder and said, Well, when I come back tonight, I'll discuss it with your father. I hugged her tightly. Thank you, Mom. In the evening, I had a long talk with my parents. The next day, my mother took me to Teacher Zhang's place to sign the papers. Nowadays, students are acting recklessly, and parents are following suit. It's quite ridiculous, he said in a sarcastic tone as he watched my mother sign. Teacher Zhang, my mother smiled. As parents, we think we should support our child's decision and believe in her, instead of pouring cold water on her. Walking out of the office, I felt very happy and relaxed. Maybe I won't necessarily succeed in the end. But I have parents who support me and I've made the choice I wanted. 12 On the first day of the senior year of high school, I met Lu Shi at the door of class 1 of the liberal arts department. I didn't expect you to really come. He raised his eyebrows. Welcome. And Shin Chen was very angry when he learned that I had gone to the liberal arts class. Why didn't you discuss it with me? I was silent for a moment. Shin Chen. This is my personal decision, except for my parents. I don't need to discuss it with anyone else. Fine, fine, he sneered, then we'll break off our friendship from now on. As soon as the school started, there was a diagnostic examination, perhaps to make everyone nervous. The questions this time were a bit difficult. A week later, the results were announced. My score ranked 11th in the liberal arts class. The entire senior year office was in an uproar when teacher Xian, the head teacher, called me to the office. I happened to hear teacher Zhang shouting inside, she just transferred here, it's impossible for her to get such a high score in liberal arts, this girl has extremely high self-esteem, she must have cheated for the sake of face, we must investigate it thoroughly. I knocked on the door, and the voices inside stopped abruptly, when teacher Xian saw me. He immediately smiled and waved for me to come over. Su Yao, you got a very good score in this diagnostic examination, the teacher just wants to ask you, how did you improve your liberal arts score in such a short time? Hee. Teacher Zhang sneered beside him. I was silent for a moment and said seriously, Teacher Xian, is there any teacher who suspects that I cheated? Teacher Xian, well, to be honest, since you just transferred from the science class and directly ranked 11th in the grade, the teachers are actually quite curious. I smiled. Teacher Xian, do you know how I spent the summer vacation of the second year of high school? For the entire summer vacation, I locked myself at home and had no entertainment activities. I bought liberal arts review materials and real college entrance examination questions. I went through each knowledge point and solved each question. I studied from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. every day. I can understand that the teachers are curious, but I can't accept being suspected of cheating without any reason. Is it without reason? Where there's smoke, there's fire. What evidence do you have to prove that you didn't cheat? Teacher Zhang immediately said, there are invigilators in the examination room and there is surveillance. Why don't you ask the invigilators, Teacher Zhang, or even check the surveillance? Why do you question me on the premise of subjectively believing that I cheated? Look, Teacher Xian, look, she's so unruly, Teacher Zhang said excitedly, she's just gotten carried away as a student leader and is very self-righteous, you must call her parents. Unexpectedly, Teacher Xian ignored him. Su Yao, the teacher believes in you, keep working hard. Teacher Zhang widened his eyes. No, Teacher Xian, you're still young and don't know that students are always full of tricks. You can't encourage students to give up their integrity just for the grades of class 1 of the liberal arts department and to get promoted to a higher level teacher. Teacher Zhang, when it comes to integrity, Lu Shi, who was helping Teacher Xian organize materials beside him, suddenly looked up. Did you forget something? What? Teacher Zhang was surprised. Lu Shi opened his innocent and bright big eyes. You said in the office that if Su Yao transferred to the liberal arts class, you would write your surname Zhang upside down. Have you written your name upside down recently? The other teachers in the office were holding back their laughter, and one of them couldn't help but laugh out loud. Teacher Zhang. Teacher Xian also smiled. You'd better mind your own business when it comes to class 1 of the liberal arts department. A minute later, Lu Shi and I walked out of the office one after another. Su Yao, I turned around. You seem quite interesting. He put his hands in his pockets. Actually, I've always thought that school is quite boring and there's no worthy opponent, but to be honest, I'm kind of looking forward to it now. Looking forward to what? I was puzzled. He smiled. Looking forward to the day when we meet at the top. 13 In the days that followed, all I did every day was study. News from the science class sometimes reached my ears. For example, Han Qiqi was pursuing Shinchen vigorously. Maybe my departure was the reason why she took action earlier than in the previous life, but this life is different from the previous one. In the previous life, with my contrast, Han Qiqi became Shinchen's warm haven to escape from marriage. In this life, I've already gone to the liberal arts class. Han Qiqi's enthusiastic pursuit as a poor student will only make Shinchen feel ashamed. He has no time and no patience to help her improve her grades. And love and the warmth of the opposite sex are not necessities in the high-pressure senior year of high school. Han Qiqi has once again become the laughingstock of the whole grade, but I didn't expect that she would take out her anger on me for Shinchen's indifference towards her. In the past 2 weeks, Several girls sitting on my left have always chatted loudly while I'm studying. They were the same girls who had bullied Han Chichi before, and now it seems that the target they want to bully has become me. I saw once after school that Han Chichi was walking with them in a mysterious way. Now, each of them is wearing an exquisite lady's watch on their wrist, and during a break, these girls, perhaps under someone's instruction, actually blocked me in the toilet cubicle and poured a basin of cold water on me, making me wet from head to toe. Retribution will come. It's just a matter of time, one of the girls said with a laugh. I stood silently in the toilet cubicle. After the door was opened from the outside, I borrowed a towel and went to the hygiene teacher to dry my clothes. Then I went back to the toilet sink, picked up the bucket beside it, and filled it with a bucket of water. When I carried the bucket into the class, those girls were chatting happily. I walked over, lifted the bucket, and poured a bucket of water on them. "Ah," they screamed. "Is that all you can do?" I smiled. "I'm really sorry. I've always been the kind of person who repays a kindness many times over." "You crazy woman," they shouted. "We're going to tell the teacher." "I'm the one who should tell the teacher," I sneered. "What era is it now? You're still playing this boring bullying game. If you have the guts, don't sit here," one of the girls shouted. "I just want to affect you. I just can't stand you. You're not the student union president this semester anymore. Don't talk to me in that official tone. We're not afraid of you." It spread all over the grade. "You shameless cheater, who do you think you are? So noisy." A voice suddenly came from the back of the classroom. The whole class fell silent. Lu Shi lazily sat up and walked over to ask, "You don't want her to sit here?" A girl wiped the water from her forehead and replied, "Yeah, she bullied us. And Lu Shi, you know she's a cheater, right? We don't want to sit with someone of bad character." After saying this, several of them had a look of anticipation, waiting to see the fun. "Oh," Lu Shi nodded and turned to ask me, "Actually, I also think your study environment here isn't very good. After all, birds of a feather flock together. You don't have to prove that you can stay untainted in such an important moment of senior year. Do you want to consider being my desk mate?" What? I was stunned. And the other girls were also stunned. After all, on the first day I came to this class, I heard that Lu Shi is a good student, handsome, and has a sharp tongue. Before, there were also girls who tried to be his desk mate and get close to him by asking questions, but usually, they were made to cry by his sharp words in no time. Over time, no one dared to get close to him, and his deskmate position has always been vacant. This is probably the first time that a top student has taken the initiative to invite someone to be his deskmate. "Anyone who doesn't go is a fool." "Okay," I nodded. "Let's go." He helped me pick up my school bag. Just like that, the two of us, under the gaze of the whole class, moved my seat next to his. 14 of course, with the personalities of Han Chichi and those girls, they probably won't let it go so easily. To avoid any unexpected problems at this crucial moment, just as I was hesitating whether to ask my father to pick me up after the evening self-study in the future, Lu Shi suddenly said, "When I helped teacher Xian organize materials last time, I saw that your home is on Feng Street." "No, 15, right," I nodded. "My home is just one street behind yours. The evening self-study will last until 9 p.m., starting next week. Do you want to walk with me for company?" "That would be great. Also, in your last monthly exam, you ranked 11th, right?" "Yeah, ranking 11th won't get you into Peking University." He threw over a notebook of wrong questions. "I don't look at the questions in this notebook anymore. If you want, you can refer to it." At this time, the bell for the end of the self-study class rang. He stood up, picked up the basketball, and walked outside. "Lu Shi," he turned around, "I heard from others before, you're not usually the type to meddle in other people's business." "Yeah, but you're not someone else now," he said lazily. "What?" He curved his lips into a faint smile. "Please give me more guidance in the future." Deskmate, 15. The notebook of wrong questions of a top student is more useful than any review materials. In the following month, I studied even harder, summarized problem-solving ideas and methods, and in the first monthly exam of senior year, I rushed to the 8th place in the grade. The rumor that I cheated in the diagnostic examination was dispelled on its own, and my relationship with Lu Shi gradually became closer. The results of this year's city evaluation came out. Although Class 1 of the science department didn't sign me up for the 3 good student, the teacher from the student affairs office signed me up for the outstanding student cadre, and I got the honor as expected. I heard that when the results were announced, Teacher Zhang smashed his outstanding teacher cup in the office. After National Day, the school held an autumn sports meeting. on my way to fetch water. I suddenly saw Teacher Zhang and Han Qiqi standing behind the teaching building with a man in a sneaky way. I thought for a while and secretly slipped into an empty classroom on the first floor, squatting under the window. I pressed the recording button on my phone. Teacher Zhang, Qiqi's current grades are not good enough to get into a top university in China, as I mentioned to you last time. See if you can boost her regular grades a bit. This way. It will look better when we apply to foreign universities for her. Got it? It's too difficult to pull off a substitution in the college entrance examination now, but I can still help with the regular grades. Thank you so much. The teachers we hired outside didn't work out. It would be best to arrange a few good students to tutor her. If her college entrance examination grades can improve, that would be the best. The previous one, that Suyao was too disobedient, don't mention it. I've already pushed her to the liberal arts class. I'll choose another candidate. That girl always makes my daughter unhappy. Don't worry, I'll find another opportunity in the future to teach her a lesson and give her a disciplinary action or something. It's not a difficult task. Okay, please accept this watch. Oh, I really shouldn't. Always making Mr. Han spend money. It's nothing, really. After the footsteps outside the window faded away, my palms were sweating. I stood up. Just as I reached the classroom door, I heard a voice, snooping so blatantly. Aren't you afraid of being seen? All the hairs on my body stood on end. I looked up and saw Lu Shi. You scared me to death. What are you doing here? I widened my eyes. You're asking me. He was both amused and annoyed. If you want to be an undercover journalist, you should learn the basic skills first. You didn't even close the classroom door and just squatted there in the corner so openly. Are you afraid that passers-by won't see you? I opened my mouth. Then, did anyone see? You fool. Of course not. He folded his arms across his chest. I'd been standing guard here all along. 16. The next day, before the whole school's morning exercises, a strange recording was suddenly played on the radio station. The protagonists of the recording were Zhang Jiang, the head teacher of Class 1 of senior high school in science, and Han Qiqi's parents, Lu Shi. The director of the radio station said it was a live broadcast accident. I received a mysterious voice recorder. He spread his hands. I originally wanted to listen to the content inside with everyone, who knew the microphone wasn't turned off at that time. Teacher Zhang was suspended from his duties and all his were revoked. And this recording, because some students recorded it and posted it online, became a trending topic in less than an hour. The all-knowing netizens turned into Sherlock Holmes one by one. Not only did students who had been taught by Teacher Zhang in the past accuse him of treating wealthy students differently back then, but they also dug up Han Qiqi's family to the bottom. Isn't this the family that sells fake watches? I bought a fake watch from their store too. They said it was second-hand, but actually it was all fake. Someone reported Han's company. The public security organs intervened and found that the Han family was not only involved in manufacturing and selling fake goods but also suspected of money laundering crimes. The school started to investigate whether Han Qiqi had formed a bullying group at school. When it came to those girls, they cried and said that Han Qiqi had given them famous watches and asked them to bully me. Han Qiqi became a pariah at school and dropped out of school soon after. The most pathetic one was Teacher Zhang. The watch he wore on his hand and admired every day was finally found to be fake. 17. The afternoon after Han Qiqi dropped out of school, I saw Shen at the entrance of the unit in the community. He said he was sorry to me. I didn't know she had been so malicious all along and always wanted to target you. In fact, I also hated her later. He wrung his hands helplessly. I'm sorry, Yao Yao, let's make up, okay? When he said this, he was holding the strawberry milk that I used to love to drink in his hand, but when I looked at that bottle of milk, I suddenly thought of the previous life. I came back a day early from a business trip and saw the strawberry milk that should have been in the refrigerator on the table. There was still an ambiguous lipstick mark on the mouth of the bottle. The bedroom and the bathroom were filled with an indescribable smell. It was obvious that the two people after their joy were in a hurry to go to work and didn't clean up in a hurry. After being reborn, I never drank strawberry milk again. A feeling of nausea welled up in an instant. I turned my head and couldn't help vomiting. Shen was frightened and hurriedly came up to pat my back, but I stopped him. Sorry, I tried to calm myself down. I don't like this milk anymore. Then I'll change it, he stammered. I shook my head. It couldn't be changed, and we couldn't go back either. Shen, I forced a smile. We'd better not see each other recently. I wish you success in the college entrance examination in advance. Everything goes well. Is it because of Lu Shi? He suddenly said. What? You've fallen in love with Lu Shi, so you chased after him to the liberal arts class. Now you two sit together and go home from school together. Isn't that right? He raised his voice. Shin Chen, Lu Shi and I are just classmates. I told you. I just want to study hard now. He sneered. Childhood sweetheart can't beat the new arrival, right? He threw the strawberry milk aside. I really didn't expect you to be this kind of person. A lot of girls like Lu Shi. He won't be a good choice. He had a sullen face. Su Yao, if you don't choose me, you'll regret it one day. 18. After that, when Shin Chen saw me again, he was like a stranger. He seemed to be competing and also fully immersed himself in the intense study. His monthly exam results were getting better and better. Shin's mother showed off intentionally or unintentionally in the community more than once. With these grades, basically any 985 university in the country can be chosen. At the end of the first semester, my grade stabilized at the second place in the grade. The second semester also passed quickly. The first, second, and third mock exams passed. After May, it was the time for the college entrance examination in June. I felt that I performed well. After the exam, I briefly compared the answers with Lu Shi and basically had an estimate of my score. There should be no problem for both of us to get into Peking University. When the scores came out, it was indeed the case. Lu Shi, as expected, got the first place in the city, and I was the 8th place in the city. Both of us received offers from several schools. I applied for the School of Journalism at Peking University, and Lu Shi applied for the School of History at Peking University. I heard that Shin Chen also did well in the exam and got into the best 985 university in the local area, which was much better than the school in his previous life. But I heard that he got sick right after the college entrance examination, and Shin's mother took care of the college entrance examination application process. Coincidentally, Shin Chen's and my entrance banquets were arranged in the same restaurant on the same day. Shin Chen and Shin's mother were standing at the entrance of the banquet hall opposite us. Shin's mother had a beaming face, but Shin Chen didn't even shave his beard and looked listless. Oh, choosing a school is not as important as choosing a major. The major I carefully selected for Shin Chen is finance. Only by studying finance can he make a lot of money in the future, Shin's mother said, looking at our side intentionally. Just like the two students from Peking University in their school this year, one studies journalism and the other studies history. Although the school is the best in the country, they won't be able to find jobs in the future. My mother was about to go up and quarrel with her when I quickly stopped her. What kind of person is she? I've been friends with her for so many years. Can other schools compare with Peking University? Don't be like her. I patted my mother's back to soothe her. Let me tell you, with Shin Chen like this, girls will line up to date him in the future. I'm already worried about how to choose a daughter-in-law now, Shin's mother continued. When she got excited, she pulled Shin Chen. Shin Chen, didn't I tell you to bring the admission notice? Take it out quickly and show it to your aunts. Shin Chen shook his head. His eyes suddenly met mine in the distance. For some reason, his eyes were full of sadness. Oh, why are you shaking your head? Shin's mother snatched Shin Chen's bag, but she didn't hold it steady and all the things in the bag fell out. An old lady enthusiastically helped pick up the things on the ground. Oh, is this the admission notice? What does it say? Azoospermia. This, Immediately several people gathered around. One of them covered her mouth in surprise. Oh, Shin Chen, you can't have children, then it will be difficult to find a partner in the future. What are you talking about? Shin's mother snatched the inspection report. This, she turned around in disbelief. Shin Chen, what is this? When did you have this examination? Oh, it's a misunderstanding. The child made a fake one by himself, she quickly said to everyone. It's not fake, Shin Chen suddenly said. I have azoospermia. I can't have children. What are you talking about? Shin's mother was so angry that she slapped him on the back. Go inside now. Shin Chen smiled self-deprecatingly. Amid Shin's mother's shouts, he walked out without looking back. 19. Suddenly, I realized one thing. Shin Chen. I chased after him. He turned around, his eyes filled with tears, and his voice was hoarse. Yao Yao, you also remembered the things in the previous life, right? I said calmly. He didn't answer, but suddenly rushed forward and hugged me tightly. I had a very long dream. His tears flowed down and he spoke incoherently. In the dream, I betrayed you. I thought I had a child with her, but that child wasn't mine. You were pushed down the stairs by her. I didn't save you in time. Later, I found out that the child wasn't mine. I quarreled with her and she picked up scissors and stabbed me. So that's how it was. In the previous life, Shin had never gone for an examination, but actually, I had gone for an examination. The examination results showed that I had no fertility problems, but before I had time to tell Shin, I discovered the fact that he had an affair with Han Chi. I'm sorry, Yao Yao, but that was just a dream, right? He cried bitterly. I won't treat you like that, I will never treat you like that. We still have a chance, everything now still has a chance. This time, let's be good, okay? I gently pushed him away. Shin, you and I both know that it wasn't just a simple dream, the bleeding was real, and the pain was real. All of it was the pain I really experienced. If you were still the Shin who knew nothing and remembered nothing, maybe we could still get along as ordinary classmates or friends, but now that you've remembered, we can't even be ordinary classmates anymore. I don't want to bring the hatred of the previous life into this life. Being strangers is my last bottom line. I hope you can be a better person in this life. Maybe I'm cold-blooded, but I don't pity him. If he really had the ability to have children and if that child was really his, then in the previous life, he should have been happy with Han Chi. Never expect to exchange your own misery or even your life for the regret that a man condescends to give, because this belated pity and regret are not worth a penny in the face of a life full of unknown wonderfulness and beauty. 20. That night, Shin's mother cried and made a scene at home for a long time. The whole unit could hear it. At 9 p.m., a small stone was suddenly thrown at the window glass of my room. I opened the window and looked down. It was actually Lu Shi. He was holding a small bunch of flowers in his hands, standing under the street lamp, like a prince in a fairy tale world. I quickly changed my clothes and went downstairs. Why didn't you send a message? What era is it now? You still call people by throwing stones at the window. I smiled. I just wanted to give it a try and see if you could hear. He shrugged. The two of us looked at each other and smiled. I'm going on a trip with my parents tomorrow, so the next time we meet should be at Peking University. I nodded. Yeah, this flower is. He coughed softly. This flower is called Alstroemeria. I just passed by a flower shop and saw it. I thought the flower language was quite suitable for you, so I bought it on the way. He handed the flowers to me. I seem to have never congratulated you on getting into Peking University. Same to you. I took the flowers with a smile. Then, go up early. See you at Peking University. Yeah, see you at Peking University. Looking at Lu Shi's leaving back, I belatedly remembered what he said just now. He said that the flower language of Alstroemeria was very suitable for me, but he didn't say what the flower language was. I opened my phone and typed. The answer popped up quickly. The flower language of Alstroemeria, friendship, looking forward to reunion, and rebirth. 21. In September, I reported to the School of Journalism at Peking University. The old professor gave us the first class. If any one of you wants to make a lot of money in the future, it's still not too late to apply for the major transfer exam now. He smiled. As journalists, you should always keep in mind one thing, and that is your social responsibility, to study journalism. There are also many skills to master: interviewing, writing, layout, video production. I was extremely busy, and Lu Shi was also very busy. He was still a man of the hour at school and was a dazzling presence even at Peking University, which was full of talents. Even some girls in my class knew that I was a high school classmate of his and asked me if I could introduce them to him. I went to ask Lu Shi excitedly, but he refused decisively. Why don't you get to know her? That girl is really nice. I don't want to. Many girls are asking what kind of girlfriend you're looking for. He didn't even look up. I don't want to find one. Why? I was puzzled. Aren't you not looking for one either? He said. I'm just too busy. It's the same for me. He closed the book. I'm also busy. Just like that. Until our senior year of university, Lu Shi didn't have a girlfriend. Some girls began to suspect his sexual orientation and asked me indirectly if he liked men. I thought for a while. I guess not. Then he likes you, they said. Really, except for you. We haven't seen Godlu get close to any other girl. After graduating from senior year, I received an offer from a prestigious foreign university for a master's degree in journalism, while Lu Shi stayed at the university to pursue a direct Ph.D. On the day I left Beijing, he went to the airport to see me off. At the moment of parting, a strong emotion suddenly welled up in my heart. In fact, I knew. Being too busy with studies and having no time to fall in love were just excuses for myself. I was just so deeply hurt in my previous life that I had been too afraid to take that step again. But what if it was this person in front of me? Should I give it a try? I pinched my palm and suddenly looked up. Lu Shi. I looked into his beautiful eyes and said word by word, "Do you like me?" He was stunned, and then he smiled. Yao Yao. Do you know why a TV drama can have 100 episodes? What? Because they don't say what they want to say directly. If you're so straightforward, what's there to write about in the story? Stop talking nonsense, I said anxiously. Do you like me or not? If not, forget it. Hey, are you getting angry? He smiled and grabbed me. I just think it's a bit of a pity. Originally, I had already bought a ticket for the next flight. When I got there, I was going to give you a surprise. Huh? What did you say? I've been waiting for the day when you're willing to fall in love. Then, he took out a very beautifully pressed Alstroemeria bookmark from his bosom. At the same time, I heard his magnetic and pleasant voice. He said, I love you. 22. Lu Shi and I had a long-distance relationship across countries for 3 years. 3 years later, I returned to China and became a social news reporter. 2 years later, Lu Shi graduated with a Ph.D. and stayed at the university as a faculty member. In less than 2 years, he was exceptionally promoted to an associate professor. I have always adhered to the original aspiration of a journalist, done every piece of news with a truth-seeking attitude, been active in the career I love, and won several honors in the industry. As a guest on a history program, Lu Shi is known as God Lu of history by netizens because of his eloquence and is rated as a new famous orator at Peking University. When I first transferred to the liberal arts class, he once said that he was looking forward to meeting me at the peak. Many years later, we both stood at the summit of our respective fields, and kept looking ahead, exploring one peak after another. Another year passed, and we got married. It was the college entrance examination season again. Our high school alma mater invited us both to give a speech at the school. Coincidentally, when I was waiting for Lu Shi, who went to buy water by the roadside, I actually met Shin Chen. He was holding a child's hand. I looked up and saw a familiar face with a hint of anxiety. I always see you on TV and the internet. He smiled. You must have had a good life these past few years. I nodded. I've been teaching in the mountainous areas these past few years. This is the child I adopted, he said. We exchanged a few simple greetings, and then he left with the child. At this moment, Lu Shi came back. He squinted his eyes and looked at the distant figure, Shin Chen. What's he doing here? Did he come to find you? I burst out laughing. We just met by chance. Why, is Professor Lu jealous of such an old matter? He snorted softly. By the way, I tugged at his sleeve. I remember you bought me a bunch of Alstroemeria back then. Did you buy it from that flower shop over there? He looked at me and muttered softly, You're so slow. Do you think you can buy such a niche flower from this small flower shop? Huh, I specially bought it online. I looked for several stores. It was really hard to find. I blinked. Wow, Lu Shi. Did you secretly like me at that time? To my surprise, he actually blushed and tightly grabbed my hand in a fierce manner. Come on, let's go quickly, we'll be late in a while. Help? After getting married, he actually blushes. He's so different from that aloof and arrogant Professor Lu at school. When we returned to the school, I realized that over the years, I had always been a legend in our high school alma mater. After the speech, the school asked us to write messages for this year's examinees. I thought for a while and wrote the following words. Because of love, there is passion. Believe in yourself. Looking forward to meeting at the peak. Story 2. On the day I announced my relationship with my childhood friend, a young Go prodigy took his own life. Reporters found a cabinet full of antidepressants in his study, along with a portrait of my profile made from black and white Go pieces. The young man's teacher, choked up, said, This kid lost his parents at 12, and Miss Chen, you were his last thought in this world. When I opened my eyes again, I was back to the day I lost a daring game. And my childhood friend's secret boyfriend excitedly suggested, Why don't you two make an official announcement? 1. The news of Song Yu, the Go prodigy, winning 7 games in a row and breaking the unbeaten record of his predecessors caused a sensation in the country. His iconic black trench coat and his devastatingly handsome looks coupled with his indifferent demeanor made him a sensation on various video platforms, attracting a large following of female fans. After returning home and during a live interview, a young reporter joked, Mr. Song, many of your new female fans are quite interested in your personal life. Would you like to share something about it? A staff member next to him tugged at the reporter, whispering, "Didn't you do your homework? Don't ask that." He never answers anything not related to Go and especially dislikes gossip. The young reporter visibly tensed up. Unexpectedly, Song-yu took the microphone himself, his dark eyes unwaveringly staring into the camera as if looking directly at someone specific. His fingertips trembling slightly as if it took all his strength to say, "I'm sorry, I like you." It was a confession, but the desperation was so intense it was suffocating. When the camera panned to Song-yu's phone, it showed the official announcement of my relationship on the screen, but at the time, no one paid attention. The whole network was still basking in the joy of his victory, wildly speculating about how exceptional the girl who made the prodigious young man feel inferior must be. That evening, the news of Song-yu's suicide due to depression quickly topped the trending searches. His "I like you" became his last words. The next day, a reporter came to me, wanting to take me to Song-yu's residence, but Zhao Xingyu, my childhood friend, was one step ahead, bursting out sharply, "Sister, are you mistaken? How could Chen Jiji have anything to do with Mr. Song? She can't even play checkers, let alone Go. I'm a devoted fan of Mr. Song, the president of the fan club's branch. If you want to know more, you should take me instead." I kicked Zhao Xingyu lightly, but had to agree with what he said. To me, Song-yu was like someone from another dimension. In my eyes, he was just a genius in a field I was unfamiliar with, quietly extraordinary. 2. Song-yu's apartment was in a secluded suburb. Pushing open the door to his study, I was confronted with a large portrait of a young girl's profile made from black and white Go pieces. It was delicate, exquisite, and striking, each detail revealing the creator's intense, unresolved emotions. It made you want to take a photo to remember. That is, if the girl wasn't me. I walked in, looking at the cabinet full of foreign-labeled antidepressants. Song-yu's teacher, a grandmaster in the Go community, sighed deeply behind me, somewhat choked up. This kid had a hard life, suffered domestic violence from a young age, and witnessed his parents killing each other when he was 12, making him an orphan. Miss Chen, you were his last thought in this world. My gaze turned to the broken strawberry hair clip, the half-eaten bag of dried mango, and the crumpled note I had thrown out the window during a study session with Zhao Xingyu, which read, "Damn, why do guys look so handsome in black trench coats?" All these casually discarded items of mine were treasured and carefully preserved. In contrast, his precious competition certificates and trophies were carelessly placed in a corner. So, it was after seeing my official announcement that he chose to give up on life. The teacher's eyes brimmed with tears. Over the years, Song-yu was placed on a pedestal, seemingly glorious on the surface, but his mental state was deteriorating. "I can only fall asleep briefly each night after looking at your photo." I couldn't help but ask, "Master, why does Song-yu like me?" Before I could finish, a sudden pain shot through my brain. As my consciousness faded, I could only see the teacher's mouth opening and closing without hearing a sound. When I opened my eyes again, it was during a class reunion after the college entrance exams, and several rounds of Truth or Dare had already been played. Zhao Xingyu was watching an interview live stream of his idol, Song-yu, while discussing the official announcement draft on his new boyfriend with my phone in his hand. Realizing what was happening, I panicked and stopped him. "You can't post that. Pick another punishment." A male classmate jokingly pushed Zhao Xingyu. "Look, you're being rejected again. Gigi, what's the matter? Why can't you take a joke today?" Seeing my genuine anxiety, Zhao Xingyu ignored them and stuttered, "But I just posted it. Don't worry Gigi, it's only been a minute, I'll delete it now." In the live stream, Song-yu had just put down his phone, being ushered by the staff to get ready for the journalists' questions. Oh no, he must have seen it. I didn't have time to explain. I quickly got up and took a ride to the chess club while opening a voice call with Song-yu on WeChat, though I couldn't remember when I had added him at all. After the call connected, there was a tone in his voice that was cautiously probing and contained a barely noticeable thrill. "Chen Jiji." This was the first time I heard Song-yu call my name, his naturally deep and enticing voice unexpectedly thrilling. "The official announcement on Moments is fake. It was a punishment for losing at Truth or Dare. Wait for me. I'll be at the chess club soon." There was silence on the other end for about 5 seconds, and if it wasn't for the clearly agitated rhythm of Song-yu's breathing and his trembling voice saying "okay" at the end, I would have thought I was too late again. After hanging up the call, I took a deep breath, leaned back in the rear seat, and closed my eyes. "Song-yu, I really want to see how crazy you are." a bright future ahead, a title of a young prodigy, wealth, status, and even a passionate love for Go that was ingrained in his bones. He didn't hesitate to give it all up. When I arrived at the entrance of the chess club, the reporters had already left. On the way there, Zhao Xingyu posted on Moments. Why did he cancel the interview after taking a call? This isn't Song Yu's style. WTF, who is this seductress that distracted our god Song from his duties? I immediately commented, is it possible that you know this seductress? Zhao Xingyu replied, who, is it the school beauty Su-han? Then it's okay, although our orientations are different, as men, we can understand god Song. In the chilly autumn wind, the young man stood under the street lamp. Not knowing how long he had been waiting, his black trench coat making his complexion appear even more pallid, at a height of 185 centimeters, with broad shoulders and long legs, his well-defined muscles gave his clothes a perfect curvature. He didn't need to do anything, no deliberate poses were necessary, his mere presence was eye-catching. No wonder he was a sensation on video websites. Our eyes met. And Song Yu's originally cold and dark eyes suddenly lit up, shimmering like the waves. His lips curving into a faint smile, his gaze fixed intently on me. It gave me the feeling of a predator in a desolate snowy landscape who, having starved for a long time, suddenly spots food, his eyes gleaming green with hunger. His enthusiasm was almost too intense to confront. Is he really this happy just from meeting? Although I often received love letters from boys at school and Zhao Xingyu jokingly called me the queen of green tea, but when I took the hot drink Song Yu handed to me, the moment our fingertips touched, my heart skipped a beat. Matcha milk green tea with less sugar, it's my favorite place to drink, senior sister. I lifted my chin slightly and looked up to meet his gaze. You can call me Gigi. Song Yu's ears turned a visible shade of red at a noticeable speed, his crow-feather-like eyelashes trembled slightly as if he was trying hard to restrain something, and he looked down and responded in a hoarse voice. It seemed as if I was the one teasing him. Zhao Xingyu had complained countless times, saying that I was actually one of the top 10 students in the school who could be on the honor roll, yet because of my overly glamorous and insufficiently innocent face, along with a naturally flirtatious tone, I seemed more like a delinquent girl with no interest in studying. I tried to change the subject. It's so cold outside, why didn't you wait inside? Don't mention waiting outside. The moment he heard you were coming, he couldn't even speak or continue with his interviews, as if he wanted to fly over to meet you. A familiar middle-aged man came out of the chess room, smiling broadly. It was his teacher, Song Yu. Why didn't you invite her in to sit? The teacher said, tugging at Song Yu's coat. A dagger, gleaming with silver light, fell from the young man's body. It hit the tiled floor with a crisp sound. The atmosphere suddenly turned silent. The teacher's arm froze in midair. At that moment, I felt as if my brain had shrunk. If I hadn't arrived at the chess room, hadn't made that phone call, at this time, would Song Yu have already closed the door of the study, desperately looking at that black and white profile, turning the blade towards his wrist? Thinking of this, a sudden pain stabbed my heart, and I quickly bent down to pick up the dagger. Gigi, Song Yu's voice was cold, with a hint of urgency. I hadn't realized the blade was so sharp, just brushing against its edge. Beads of blood eagerly surged from my fingertip. When Song Yu cut his wrist, he must have truly had no desire to survive. Autumn rain lingered. Inside the chess room, after disinfecting the wound, Song Yu turned to grab some gauze. I used my uninjured hand to grab the hem of his shirt. This small cut doesn't need bandaging. It will heal if you just blow on it. Song Yu stood still, his Adam's apple bobbing. Really? The young man leaned down, reverently lifted my injured finger. His pale pink lips slowly approaching. I belatedly realized he had interpreted blow on it to mean himself. Our warm breaths gradually intertwined, heating up the air. Just as they were about to touch, the sound of the teacher opening the door came, and I quickly withdrew my hand. The teacher waved at me, signaling me to come out. Song Yu's gaze darkened as he stared at my quickly healing wound, his look intensely deep. He stared in the direction I was leaving. A silent and humble plea for me to stay. It's not like we won't see each other again. I couldn't help but silently complain. But then I suddenly realized that in Song Yu's eyes, my sudden visit might seem whimsical, and whether I would come again was indeed an uncertainty. Mr. Chen, I hope you weren't frightened, getting injured the first time we formally meet. This kid must be heartbroken. Don't be scared. He meant no harm with that dagger, probably because, outside. The teacher paused mid-sentence. I blinked. It's all right, master, I know everything. The teacher's face showed a look of shock. You know, Did Song Yu tell you? No, it's impossible for him to say anything and burden you psychologically, given his personality. I'll find out who the traitor is that's been spreading rumors. In my heart, I silently replied, Master, it was you who told me. Chen, your presence really made Song Yu happy. Maybe tonight he can take less sleeping medication. I'm not ashamed to tell you that his dosage has been increasing, and it scares me. Chen, really, thank you. When the teacher bowed his head, I noticed a few white hairs. My nose couldn't help but feel a bit sour. When I returned to the room, Song Yu was replaying the chess game. His distinct fingers held a black chess piece, pleasing to the eye, embodying a gentleman's grace. He exuded a calm and aloof demeanor that belied his age. I approached silently, my hands still damp from washing. Mischievously flicked water at Song Yu. He turned his head, his pupils dilating in surprise at my return. Not even wiping the water I flicked at him, his eyelashes damp, unsure if from crying or the droplets. Up close, I noticed a cut on his fingertip identical to mine. Playing Go. Do you not care about your hands? I blurted out, thinking aloud. Song Yu, flustered, stood up and hid his hands behind his back. Gigi, I'm sorry, stop saying sorry to me from now on. I tried to sound stern, but my naturally soft voice made it sound more like coquetry. Why did you bring it inside? I pointed to the dagger on the cabinet. You touched it. It has your scent. I wanted to keep it, Song Yu explained softly, not hiding anything. I could already picture Song Yu taking the dagger back to his study, treasuring it in a glass display case. Though the room wasn't heated, warmth slowly climbed to my cheeks. After a pause, I spoke. Next month, there's a high school reunion organized by the school. Will you go? Gigi, do you not hate me? Song Yu asked cautiously. You really want me to hate you? No. Teasing him, I smiled and moved closer. So you hope I like you then? Gigi. Song Yu clenched the chess piece, huskily calling my name. I felt I might have teased him too much, so I stepped back. Alright, sleep early tonight, take less sleeping medication, or none if possible. I'm leaving now. Okay. The disappointment in the young man's eyes was as transparent as a dog abandoned in a storm. I couldn't help but raise my hand, and Song Yu naturally bent down, making it easier for me to ruffle his soft hair. Being so obedient. Would you refuse anything I ask? No, I was just joking, but didn't expect such a straightforward answer from Song Yu. Leaving me at a loss for words, the young man in front of me smiled, his tone humble yet earnest, with a bit of stubbornness. I'm willing to do anything for Gigi. A cold breeze blew in through the window, disrupting my heartbeat once again. I heard my own voice. In that case, Song Yu, I command you to live well. Time always flies during breaks from class. A month flew by in the blink of an eye. I managed to get quite a bit of first-hand information about Song Yu from Zhao Xingyu. Song Yu seemed to know me better than I knew myself, yet I knew nothing about him. This disparity in information fueled my competitive spirit. Every time I went to the chess room, Song Yu would play chess in silence while I, like a newly minted fan, slowly gathered information. He burst onto the scene at 12, won the world championship at 17, preferred playing with the black pieces, and always maintained a poker face regardless of the situation. Never showing any emotion and always quietly waiting for his opponent to leave the table first after a game, he would decline any interviews or questions unrelated to Go. Every year, he donated half of his prize money to Project Hope schools and privately established an organization against domestic violence for minors. When I got tired of studying, I would sneak glances at Song Yu to refresh myself. Once, while I was absorbed in watching him, Song Yu suddenly turned his head. I couldn't dodge in time and found myself lost in his calm, lake-like eyes. It was as if a small stone had been tossed into them, rippling through the still water. Putting down his chess piece, Song Yu turned to face me and considerately suggested, Gigi, you watch first, I'll continue after you're done. I pushed my luck, my eyes gleaming as they fixated on his abdomen. Can I touch your abs? Okay. Song Yu managed to stretch the single word into several syllables, his reply stumbling. I smirked. Song Yu, can't you ever say no? So, we're not doing it. How could we not? You already agreed. Casual and satisfied, I rubbed his stomach over his clothes. Alright, continue your game. Song Yu's ears turned red, and he quickly stood up. I need to go to the restroom. Besides the factual information, Zhao Xingyu also sent me a bunch of recent gossip. Rumors online claimed that the girl who called Song Yu and made him cancel a press conference was his girlfriend from the same high school. Some even claimed she was the campus beauty Su Han, who was supposedly in the same class as Song Yu. I happened to see this and casually clarified, the girl who called was Chen Zhizhi, and she's not his girlfriend. The response came instantly, that senior, Chen Zhizhi, just looking at her. You can tell she's a scheming girl, not Song Yu's type at all. Suhan might be more plausible, at least there's some credibility. Chen Zhizhi is Song Yu's senior and mixed up with bad crowds, always heavily made up and hot-tempered, not at all like a student. They probably haven't even spoken, so this is how rumors are born. I just wanted to read the comments, but now I'm furiously typing away. They say I have a temper. Well, I'll let them know the rumors aren't false. After a barrage of responses, the other person was left doubting their existence. Crying as they deleted their ID, that evening at the high school reunion, after spending too long deeply and friendly interacting with the keyboard warriors, I arrived in a rush to find everyone had almost all arrived. I had just taken off my thick jacket, revealing my delicate makeup and a figure-hugging slip dress. Zhao Xingyu rushed over. Princess, allow me to report today's big news. Go ahead. The unapproachable beauty has descended from the pedestal. Can you believe Song Yu actually came to the reunion? He used to ignore these kinds of events. It must be the charm of the campus beauty. I paused. Wait, what does this have to do with Suhan? Zhao Xingyu raised an eyebrow. Wasn't it Suhan who invited Song Yu? But let's not talk about that now. I'm going to meet the master face to face. Yes, Your Highness. The foundation makeup today is so good that even a mosquito could do splits on it, I replied with a smile. Don't make the princess kick you on a happy day. Zhao Xingyu ran away in a flash, not forgetting to complain to his secret boyfriend, my uncle, saying that I was being mean to him again. I took out a small mirror and checked my reflection. Indeed, there was a slight oiliness on both sides of my nose. Song Yu spends all day alone in the chess room, engaging in high-intensity chess matches, with pitifully few leisure activities. I heard that participating in group activities can help with the recovery from depression, which is why I invited him over. So, Suhan invited Song Yu as well. Are they close? This speculation made me feel slightly uncomfortable. Zhizhi, my thoughts were interrupted as Song Yu made his way through the noisy crowd, wearing his usual black trench coat, albeit a slightly different style from before. I wonder how many he has bought. People online are criticizing me. And you know I'm not good at clapping back, so it took me some time. I rushed over here and my makeup is a bit smudged. Does it look bad? I said pitifully, tilting my head slightly so Song Yu could see clearly. No, Zhizhi, you always look beautiful. Song Yu's gaze lingered on my slip dress, unsure where to rest, but reluctant to look away, a faint pink hue creeping up his neck. Song Yu, I haven't had dinner, I'm so hungry. I'll get strawberry cake and mango pudding. I'm no longer surprised that Song Yu knows my favorite desserts. After spending some time together, I've realized he knows me uncomfortably well. Master Song, so you're here. Before Song Yu could move, a group of girls quickly surrounded him. Suhan stood at the center, wearing a loose school uniform with a high ponytail, exuding a youthful vibe, her bare, egg-shaped face looking exceptionally pure. The light in Song Yu's dark eyes slowly faded, returning to his usual polite yet distant demeanor. Master Song, you're always flying around for competitions and hardly at school. Thanks to Han Han, we get to see you. As she spoke, one girl pushed Suhan towards Song Yu. What's the situation with you and Han Han? Suhan shyly pulled back. Why ask such things? The girl gave a knowing smile. Don't worry, I know Master Song's special status. I'll keep it a secret. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with Miss Suhan. Song Yu nodded slightly in apology, trying to leave. But Suhan timidly clutched at his coat. Master Song, didn't you come in response to my invitation? I sent you an email, don't you remember? Suhan blinked her large, round eyes, looking pitiful. Besides, we are in the same class. The surrounding girls chimed in. Master Song, you're not shy, are you? There might be some misunderstanding. Song Yu doesn't check his email often. I was the one who called him. Seeing that Song Yu was uncomfortable, I pushed my way through and pulled him out from the crowd of girls. The girls' focus shifted from Song Yu to me. Chen Zhizhi, aren't you a grade above us? When did you get to know Master Song? Senior Chen, you look even prettier than the rumors suggest, but, well, you look a bit too much like the type who would date 8 guys at once. No wonder you only got second place in the campus beauty contest. Master Song, did you really come here for Chen Zhizhi, the two of you? Suhan looked incredulous. Having just dealt with a group of 10 in the afternoon, I was too tired to explain further and signaled Zhao Xingyu to come and save the day. After much persuasion, Zhao Xingyu sweet-talked Su Han and the others into going to the outdoor pool to watch the fireworks, but the chatter continued non-stop. Don't worry, Han Han, Chen Jiji wouldn't go for someone with Master Song's personality. Yeah, Master Song is so cold and old-fashioned, obsessed only with go. He probably doesn't even know how to kiss. Chen Jiji, being the drama queen she is, would definitely prefer someone more fun. Exactly, she won't compete with you for him. Besides, she already has Zhao Xingyu. I heard they were betrothed as kids. How could a heavenly match ever compete with a childhood sweetheart? Ah, it's such a pity. I think senior Zhao Xingyu is so charmingly rogue, and he's a real flirt. It's so unfair. Why does she get all the luck? Not only is her family rich, but she's also surrounded by handsome guys. Her young uncle is a real looker too, over 30 and looks like he's in his 20s, and I heard he's still single. The girl's voices gradually faded, but Song Yu's expression grew darker and more obscure. Unfortunately, Zhao Xingyu, oblivious to the mood, rushed over and threw an arm around my shoulder. Sister Chen, aren't we buddies? Why didn't you tell me about these connections sooner? Master Song, I've been a huge fan of Go since I was a kid. I'm the president of your fan club's branch. Your last match abroad was absolutely brilliant. Gigi, stop nagging at me when I'm talking to my idol. I sighed in frustration, yet couldn't reveal Zhao Xingyu's secret about his orientation, so I forcefully shrugged him off. Zhao Xingyu widened his eyes. What's with you, woman? You're incredibly strong. The small mole at the corner of Song Yu's eye seemed particularly red as he quietly observed the interactions between Zhao Xingyu and me. Maybe it was because we had spent a lot of time together, but even though his expression was calm and unchanging, I could detect a hint of grievance and restraint in his glistening eyes. Suddenly, I felt as if I was caught in an affair. Gigi, I'll go get you some food. Noticing me looking at him, Song Yu quickly resumed his warm smile, but the fleeting shadow in his eyes didn't have time to vanish. Before I could respond, Zhao Xingyu interjected anxiously. What are you thinking, Chen Gigi? How can you let a world champion serve you? His hands are meant for holding go pieces and bringing honor to our country, not for serving food. Master Song, please excuse my friend's ignorance. You should rest. I'll handle this. Meanwhile, Zhao Xingyu pretended to fiddle with his phone and swiftly sent me a message. What's going on? Master Song's look seemed like he wanted to execute me. Am I imagining things? Anyway, I better lay low for a while. Don't hold back. Does it hurt? After Zhao Xingyu completely left the scene, the surroundings finally quieted down. I gently poked Song Yu's clenched fist with my finger. As his long fingers unfolded, the pale violet bruises on her palms stood out starkly against her pale, cold skin, making a shocking contrast. Do you really believe what those girls said? Song Yu shook his head. I only believe you. See, you do know how to charm people, don't you? I tried to make a light joke to ease the tension, but the next moment, I was pulled forward a few steps into a dimly lit shadow, and found myself enveloped in a warm embrace before I could even think. Song Yu's voice was very low, each word trembling at the end as if he was whispering, his words brushing my ears like feathers. Gigi, I want to be reckless just this once, just once. He was strong, blocking any way out, yet his touches on me were cautious and tender, as if he cherished me deeply. He even thoughtfully placed his hand on my back to prevent me from getting hurt. Song Yu affectionately rubbed his chin against my shoulder, which Zhao Xingyu had just touched, his soft lips barely grazing my exposed skin as if desperately trying to erase the traces of another. A faint scent of soap lingered from his body, mingling with the heat around us right under my nose. This wasn't my first hug with someone of the opposite sex, but it was the only time my legs went weak and my heart raced as if it might burst out of my chest at any moment. Just a wall away, Zhao Xingyu was wandering around with a dinner plate, looking for his idol. How did they disappear in the blink of an eye? Hey, Chu, have you seen Chen Jiji? The person across from him sighed. Xingyu, you know what Jiji is like. Since they broke up, I haven't seen her in a long time. Song Yu stiffened for a moment, and I could feel his breathing grow heavier, each breath hitting my eardrums. A slight pain came from my shoulder as Song Yu's teeth gently grazed the soft flesh there. The arm around my waist showed blue veins from excessive restraint, as if he was at his limit. I bit my lower lip hard to stop myself from making any strange noises and whispered in his ear, it was just one day, we didn't even hold hands. I almost forgot what he looks like, really, as Zhao Xingyu's footsteps faded away. Song Yu gradually loosened his grip on me. His face was abnormally flushed, and his usually immaculate collar was all messed up from my grasping. I didn't need a mirror to know that I probably looked even worse. It reminded me of how he usually stared intently at the chessboard during games, his glasses like black holes, absorbing all the light around them. Gigi, did I scare you just now? I nodded, then shook my head, my expression worried. I heard from the teacher that those medications have severe side effects. You stopped taking them recently because of the competition. Are you okay? What would you do if I said I'm not okay? Gigi, would you stay by my side? I was taken aback. This question Song Yu asked was beyond my previous considerations. I haven't been taking my medication recently. Not because of the competition, but because you are with me. Song Yu's eyes flickered with a slight sadness, yet still carried a gentle smile. His lips were very inviting, soft and now a deeper shade of red. It was hard to resist the urge to bite down, to taste. Gigi, I'm sorry, I like you. Hearing the same familiar words as in my past life made my heart skip a beat. Song Yu raised his hand and gently ruffled my hair, his tone so tender it could drown someone. But you have your own life. You don't need to feel responsible for this fondness. I suddenly remembered what Zhao Xingyu said when I asked him for materials previously. Master Song might seem quiet and uncommunicative, appearing a bit slow at times, but someone who can master the game of Go, encompassing all its complexities to become the world's #1, must be someone who can easily perceive everything and is extremely intelligent. It turns out, Song Yu knew everything. He had long seen through my thoughts and intentions. No wonder he never asked why I hitched a ride to the chess club out of the blue on the day of the press conference. Gigi, I've been very happy this past month. It's been the happiest time of my life. I'm deeply attached to this feeling and even thought how wonderful it would be if it could last a lifetime. But all dreams must end. The longer I spend with you, the harder it becomes to control my desires. I find myself helplessly craving more and more, pushing my endurance to the limit, leading to today's uncontrollable state. I've been too greedy. Gigi, I promised you that I would live well, but just the thought of you liking someone else in the future makes merely living feel so difficult. Let this past month's memories be a gift to me. Okay, I need these memories to sustain me for the rest of my life. Gigi, you are my deity, and a deity should not be confined. I'm not worthy. This was probably the most Song Yu ever spoke, his eyes not hiding their fervent and humble spark anymore. The moment our eyes met, the sparks that flew were almost manic, painfully touching, like a lone devotee in a sea of people, moving against the current, kneeling before the temple, faithful unto death. I opened my mouth but found myself unable to speak. The gathering had ended, and classmates were leaving one after another. Song Yu placed his coat on me and carefully adjusted the pig-themed scarf around my neck. Let's go. Gigi, it's getting windy outside. Why do you like me? Song Yu. On the way back to the chess club, I finally voiced the question that had been lingering in my mind. I'm quick-tempered, indulgent, spoiled, can't handle hardship, and even a bit dramatic. When did you start liking me? Song Yu slowed his pace. Gigi, do you really not remember? His clear, youthful voice held no blame. Yet I still felt uneasy. Should I remember something? On your 12th birthday, I was kicked out of my house by my parents. My eyes were blurred with blood, and I couldn't see the road when I ran into a Rolls-Royce. You got out of the car, gave me a bun and a membership card for a Go class. The beautiful face of the young man gradually overlapped with the blurry memory of the little boy. I had just started middle school at the time, a rebellious, self-centered age. My parents had enrolled me in a 6-year Go class without consulting me, leading to a big argument. During the car ride, the Cold War continued, and my mother bought me the most popular steamed buns on that street to appease me. That's when Song Yu, covered in blood, stumbled in front of our car. About half a meter from the car, I remember his eyes, clear and deep, more beautiful than any crystal or gemstone I had ever seen. People passed by on the busy street, seemingly accustomed to the sight. My parents wanted to get out and check, but were stopped by neighbors. Don't bother, this child gets beaten every day. Today is actually light, and he didn't even hit your car. Be careful, he might scam you, they warned. You newcomers don't know the inside story. His mom originally wanted to divorce his dad and didn't plan on having a child, but then he came along and trapped her. Even abortion pills didn't kill him. He was born with a wicked energy. He might just be a harbinger of disaster. Both of you are in business, right? Then you should stay even further away from him. Be careful not to catch any bad luck. With this advice, my parents started to worry. Amidst the noisy surroundings, I opened the car door and handed a steaming basket of dumplings to the boy who appeared to be about my age. Why did your parents hit you? The boy shook his head. eyeing the dumplings and swallowing hard. Here, eat them before they get cold. Thank you, ignoring the blood on his hands. He devoured the dumplings greedily. Your eyes are beautiful, the dark parts like ink and the white like moonlight. Speaking of which, black and white, that's like Go, isn't it? I pulled out a 6-year membership card my parents had just processed. Zhao Xingyu's dad sent him to learn Go, said it would make him smarter. My dad insisted I go too, but I get dizzy just looking at the board. How about this, you go learn it thoroughly, and when you return, you can teach me. The boy gently took the card, careful not to stain my clothes. After a while, he spoke softly. Everyone thinks my being born was a mistake, that I should die. Don't die. Why? He stared at me, tears clinging to his long, curled eyelashes. You're very handsome, and you'll be even more so when you grow up. Imagine if you became famous for playing Go and appeared on TV, more people would appreciate your good looks. If you died now, the world would be short of one handsome guy. And that would be a great loss for me. I tried to joke seriously, but ended up laughing at my own words. The boy paused, then a slight smile formed on his lips. I was helplessly captivated by that faint smile, staring for several seconds before continuing. Don't mind what they say, I always come top of my class, yet my classmates say I'm a truant girl gangster, alleging my grades are from cheating. I naturally have red lips, and they accuse me of wearing lipstick, deducting my points. Don't believe them. All this talk of disaster stars and lucky stars is futile superstition. We should believe in materialism. No one is born guilty. What's your name? Chen Zhiji. Like the branch of a tree. Maybe the neighbor's words really scared me, but before I could ask the boy his name, my parents rushed over, pulled me away from him, and dragged me into the car. They repeatedly wiped my fingers with an alcohol wipe. Zhiji, when will you change this habit of being overly friendly? What if that boy has a disease that could infect you? Last time, you chatted with a beautiful sister for so long, she almost missed her flight. I was busy arguing with my mom and didn't notice the boy following the car, breathlessly chasing me down 2 streets. Little did I know that from that day on, he would lurk in the shadows like a ghost, silently enduring the torment of depression, and quietly watching over me for 5 whole years. He went to great lengths to add me on WeChat, only to remain silently in my contact list, browsing every single one of my posts without ever daring to start a conversation. The day after returning from the chess room, Song Yu flew to another country for a competition. His popularity was soaring. With promotions everywhere, everything seemed to be looking up, but I felt a hollow emptiness inside. Under Zhao Xingyu's persistent questioning, I simplified the events of recent times and shared them with him in bits and pieces. Chen Zhiji, aren't you forgetting to consider a very important question? Zhao Xingyu waved his hand in front of me. I'm watching the match. Don't interrupt. Song Yu seems to be at a disadvantage here. Zhao Xingyu leaned casually against the wall, fiddling with the earring in his right ear. I'm serious, Zhiji. Have you ever considered whether you actually like Master Song? You might look like you've had rich emotional experiences, but to put it plainly, it was all just for fun. This might be the first time you're truly falling for someone. Are you scared? We've known each other since we were toddlers in split pants. I know you well enough to say I don't believe you're not moved. You even treated me as part of your game at gatherings. Zhao Xingyu said through gritted teeth. From outside the room, Uncle's magnetic voice called, Xingyu, we're going to be late for the movie. Zhao Xingyu cleared his throat. Tell the prince to step out. Uncle chuckled coldly. I skipped a high-level meeting for this movie. You think I, at my age, am keen on being your secret lover? Get out here in half a minute, or don't bother at all. Zhao Xingyu instantly caved inside at me as he left. Chen Zhiji. Oh Chen Zhiji. I really don't know how my smart and beautiful idol could ever fall for you. I'm also curious how Uncle, a tycoon in the business world, could fall for a playboy like you. Don't forget, you're an adult now. Uncle has more ways to deal with you. Damn, it must be the Chen family's age-old tradition to bully people to death. Huh, baby, why are you waiting at the door? I wasn't talking about you, nor about our dear Zhiji. I was talking about Chen Shimi, that scumbag. Haha. The door closed, and the focus returned to the screen, where Song Yu had lost the first match. The camera froze on his expressionless face. Comments under the video surged, many of them harsh. I opened Trip, paused on the page for nearly a minute, and booked the earliest flight to the country where Song Yu was competing. I grabbed my coat and dashed out the door. Zhao Xingyu was right. Deep down, I knew exactly how I felt about Song Yu. I was used to playing around, but facing such intense and sincere affection, I was inevitably a bit overwhelmed. but the countless palpitations can't lie. On the phone, Songyu answered immediately, his voice husky and gentle. Gigi, I can lose, right? Nonsense, of course you can. Don't worry about what people online are saying, you've won so many matches already, it's only fair to let others feel involved, to give the seniors some respect, right? The airport announcements urged passengers to board. I was getting anxious. I have to go, wait, Songyu blurted out, then paused for 2 seconds before regaining his composure. Never mind, go ahead and get busy, I said as I hung up the phone, feeling something was off with Songyu. I sent a message to our teacher on WeChat. The teacher replied, Chen, that boy suddenly being apart from you, he's been having severe withdrawal symptoms lately, plus, with all the medication he's taking, he might be a bit out of it, don't take it to heart. Is he showing any unusual behavior? I asked. At night, after taking his sleeping pills, he often mistakes that you two are together and calls your photo wife. Does that count? After the plane landed, I immediately went to the hotel where Songyu was staying. I was about to send him a message to come down and meet me, planning to surprise him, but before I could enter, I saw him talking to a girl in the lobby. Songyu's back was turned to me, his expression unclear. The girl was a mixed-race Lolita, looking like a delicate doll, her Chinese slightly faltering, but very enthusiastic. Master Song, can I pursue you? Sorry, why? Do you already have someone you like? Yes, the girl seemed puzzled. Then why haven't you confessed to her? Or did you confess and get rejected? Ah, sorry, Master Song, I didn't mean to bring up sad memories. The girl covered her mouth. It's okay, Master Song. Do you still like her? Can we exchange contact information? And if you ever stop liking her, can you let me know so I can get in line? That day will never come. The girl made a playful face. How is that possible, Master Song? Your excuse for rejecting people is too clumsy. Everything has an expiration date, like even the tastiest milk in the supermarket eventually goes bad. Songyu slightly lifted the corner of his lips. Milk expires, bread goes bad. But I will always love her. The girl frowned. Even if she doesn't love you, you'll love her forever. Yes. Songyu had the staff escort the girl away, then pulled out a cigarette and stepped out of the hotel lobby. Just as he was about to light it, he bumped into me, lugging my suitcase. Gigi, snowflakes landed on Songyu's shoulders, and the cigarette was snapped and tucked into his sleeve. I opened my arms, smiling brightly. I thought you'd call me wife. Come here, let big sis give you a hug. The boy's eyes instantly reddened. Yet he restrained himself from moving towards me. Songyu, I've missed you so much. I took the initiative, wrapping my arms around his lean waist, feeling his warmth, and his faint scent of alcohol, but he never used to drink. My heart felt like it was soaked in sesame oil, giving off a sour and bitter pain. I looked up at him, serious. Songyu, my mission this time isn't to save you, but to love you. You chase me, or I chase you. Anyway, it's not out of pity, not out of guilt. I like you, I desire you, I want to give us a try. Was I clear enough? A flash of light passed before my eyes, and a reporter not far away apologized with a grin. Sorry to disturb you, Master Song. After saying that, he started running. All I could do was yell after him, make sure to edit my photo. Our conversation was interrupted by this little interlude, and Songyu silently took my suitcase from my hand, helping me check in at the front desk. For the first time in my life, I was the one who confessed to a boy, and my heart felt as uneasy as if I were carrying a rabbit inside. I was nervous and excited, not quite sure how to directly ask Songyu whether he had accepted my proposal or not. All I could do was watch eagerly as he helped me open the hotel room door and neatly arranged my luggage. The other staff members watched in shock as Songyu hustled about busily. Master Song, you have a competition tomorrow, you shouldn't be doing these things, let us handle it. Songyu refused. He has always disliked others touching my belongings. Soon, it was just the two of us left in the room. Gigi, get some rest, Songyu said, turning his face away as he walked towards the door. His eyes downcast, avoiding mine. Master Song, I stood in front of the door, blocking his way out and took his hand, mimicking the tone of the staff. I confessed to you as the first snow fell, you could at least react. Outside, the snow fell heavily, while inside, the temperature steadily rose, our breaths mingling, coming in waves. Instinctively, I wrapped my arms around Songyu's neck, tears slowly forming in the corners of my eyes. Occasionally, I could hear his husky whisper in my ear. Gigi, breathe. Songyu was the one drinking, but I was the one intoxicated. After what felt like an eternity, my lungs finally felt free again, my entire tongue numb. I gasped for fresh air like a stranded fish. Let's just say I was delusional. No one says a devotee can't possess their deity, right? A warm liquid dampened my shoulder as Song buried his face in my neck, silently crying. I'm sorry, Gigi, I lied. 1 month